This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Gaz, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. What's going on, everybody? This is Colteastwood. This is the X&C Podcast, the most professional, the most streamlined in perfection of... As I see Cass making faces. This is episode 91 of the X&C Podcast, also never called the Xbox Newscast Podcast. I'm here with my esteemed, handsome, and very wonderfully talented Gaz from Game On Daily. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. How are you?
Listen to that mic. Say it again.
Oh, enjoy these moments. Randall Thor is with us as well. Yeah. Hi. How are you, Rand? You good?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Can't see your face, so.
Yeah, well, that's never going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just forever going to remain a faceless avatar. A great avatar by the incomparable Sean LeBrie, nonetheless. But, you know, Colt was like, hey, you want to be on with Gaz? It's the second to last show. And I'm like, of course. Gotta be here for one of Gaz's last shows. You know?
See.
I expect the tears to be flowing, the emotion to be high.
There'll be all the tears, and then they'll just be about how the news just hasn't been good for... There's been no good news. Where's the good news, Rand? Did you bring...
I know, I'm sure Gaz cannot wait to talk about ABK some more.
Oh, yeah, because that's going to be fun and games. We haven't talked about that enough, clearly. Plus, did you realize I'm a pony? Apparently, I'm the biggest PlayStation fanboy.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised because forever people have labeled me an undercover PlayStation fan.
You?
Yeah, I'm totally undercover, bro. It's just all I don't know. It's like all stealthy. Like, I'm not a real Xbox fan. Apparently, I'm just a fraud.
You'll play the occasional PlayStation game, and you'll be hunkering down in some blankets while you play something like Sifu or God of War Ragnarok, and then you're back to your Xbox ways, playing, 2,000 gamer score every single month or whatever it is. But
yeah,
Rand, yeah,
cool.
Hey, they're asking B Mac Copolix
Spit it out, Colt. We got you. Come on.
I don't know how to say B-Mac Copolypse. I know it's apocalypse, like a play on the word, but you know what? I said his name 9 times without getting it right. He says, Rand, once you hit 100,000 subs, you need to go on cam.
I mean, I have said that before. Well, I mean, I've said that before, and I am a man of my words. The issue is we're still far away from that, and I need to make videos to get there, and Gaz is telling me not to make any more videos.
Me too. I've been I'm like, Rand, don't make a video.
Told me like a week ago, he's like, bro, don't even release any videos. And I'm like, okay,
that's a lie. Lies. I said you don't need to, but you should if you want to build subs. You need to get to the 100K. You need to get the silver.
Yeah, the silver play button. Yeah, I want that. We'll get there at some point. Whether it's later this year or early next year at some point. And then Xbox 2 will be an on-camera podcast. And then all of you will be demanding to go back to no cameras. You'll be like, Xbox 2's changed. We don't like this anymore. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. People always... Yeah. You can't please anyone. Everyone.
That's true.
Going on camera was like an entire month of like, oh my gosh, I know what you look like now, and you don't look anything like what I thought you would. And people are like, oh, it's so cool you're on camera, and then they get used to it. Like Rand's always says, he'll finally go on camera, and people are like, oh, it's so great, and then they're like, all right, we're over it.
Yeah, then they don't care, and it's just like whatever. It's so freeing not to have to, you guys don't even know what I'm doing right now. I could be completely
naked,
Daffy Duck in it or whatever, right? I could just.
We know, but I mean, Gaz and I have a good time. The faces and the hand gestures and the inappropriate hand gestures. We got it all going on. Sith Lord, who's been a channel member for 3 months, says, Gaz, thank you for being Colt's right-hand man on this show. You made Monday night worth staying up late and getting out of dialysis early. Thank you.
And that's Getting out of Dallas early to listen to Gaz and Colt, that's something. I mean, I don't want to like be a downer here, but with Gaz leaving, is it gonna be Colt Eastwood solo, or is Colt Eastwood gonna have
I've got an overlay with just me, and then I've been working really super hard on these sock puppets. And I'll just put one on each hand, and they'll have their own fake mic, and they're sort of like, or it'll be like Banjo. It's gonna be Banjo. I didn't want to spoil it. It's gonna be Banjo and Kazooie. I'll be like, so what do you think about this Xbox news? And it'll go like that for 2 hours, and everyone will leave. It'll be great.
So
no, but
we're not ready to announce that Randall Thor 19 is going to be your co-host after Gaz leaves.
Can you imagine if you were doing Xbox 2 and this show? You'd be slamming your head into a desk drawer.
I'd be like, I can't talk about this stuff again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not ready to announce, but everything's kind of in the workings, and had a meeting with Phil Spencer. I'm like, just be my co-host. It'll be great. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And then Jim Ryan pulled him to Brussels for some meeting, but we'll talk about that here in a second. Red Wolf, who's a good friend of mine, gifted 2 channel memberships, or at least one, unless it's copied twice here. So you can be a channel member, get early access, and for the merch giveaways. And Brian Kress became a channel member and Kings through those gifts. So that's pretty cool. Udana Kazada says, at this for over 3 years. Happy birthday, Gaz. I want you to know that I know you're leaving because you're starting a PlayStation podcast, you pony.
The truth is out.
Yeah, it'd be more manageable because you just play it once and done, and that's it. It'd be easy to cover all the games. No, I'm not
yeah, you just show up every week and
comments on your last X&C was, Gaz is a pony, and then the other guy's like, yeah, you don't realize how much the PlayStation influences in the UK. I'm like, these people must drink bleach daily. If you think I play PlayStation like 3%. I hardly have any trophies on PlayStation apart from the big games, and you can count them on your hand. But I'm all on Xbox. I've been playing a game which I'm not allowed to talk about because it's under embargo. But that game has really got me going, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be. Can't wait for that drop.
Is it safe to say that Xbox and Game Pass have it pretty much figured out this year? Maybe. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes and no.
A lot of people are crying about the Atomic Heart review score, Metacritic stuff, even though it's a multi-plat. It is on PlayStation, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, I want to talk about Atomic Heart early on in the show, but before I do that, I want to read off as quickly as I've used my talents up to do so, the panel channel members and Patreons. When Rand gets here, I stumble over my words because I get nervous because Rand's like one of my my old crushes. So yeah, but let me read these names. These are the people who've been channel members and veterans for over 9 months and longer. We got Mark Caldwell, KY, Bob Assassin, Lupa Jazzy, Noob, Xbox, Ricky Falon, Manic Master, Jason Lewan, Mo B, Matt Burns, Lewin, Lance, Udana Kazada, Nanopolymus, Suicide King, Robert Jackson, Lord Sarkill, John T. Moody, Joada Max, Dark CMF, Gas, Fox Storytelling, Reek Havocs, Fault Light, Zender White, Davario 2 Gaming Remix, V Simcoe, Assassin Dub, Larry Thatcher, Hargeet, TK Chillin, Gaz trying to throw me off, Raiden Blade, Acute Respect to True 77, Risking for the Biscuits, Micah Ford, Red Source, Dave UK01, Quinn's Harmony, Attitude Deer, Pesky Krogan, Panda Bamboo, Trell Roberts, Scrub Nurse, Neil B, good friend of mine, Boba Fett, Macbound, and Meat Puppet 007. Those are the names. Thank you you're also across the ticker tape. Let's talk about the news. Let me tell you what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about Atomic Heart. First of all, I'm going to get some gameplay up on the screen in a second. We're going to talk about where the Series X is sitting in some kind of weird conundrum or a problem. I don't know if that's the right word, Gaz. Look that up for me, would you? We're going to talk about Redfall. We're going to talk about some ABK stuff. We're going to talk about some PlayStation hardware. And then we're going to get into a weird discussion about how Xbox is better than PlayStation. Are you guys ready to talk about X&C news? Rand, are you ready?
I mean, I'm only here for an hour though, right?
Yeah. I told Rand I would keep him here for just a little bit.
Maybe I'll stay for the whole time.
Shut up, I'll be here because Gaz is the second last show. Yeah. I'm only here for an hour. That he's pissed off.
I mean, Colt needs to pay the the overtime fees.
Yeah, I got to be able to feed my dogs. I'm such a professional. I get the thing set up, and my camera is like off kilter there. But let me talk about Atomic Heart. I think Gaz and I can both talk about it. But Rand, let me ask you first of all, where are you sitting with Atomic Heart? You haven't loaded it up yet? What's the deal? What's going on with this game?
No, I haven't loaded it up yet. I didn't ask for a review copy. I was just gonna wait to play it on Game Pass, which I don't think it's available yet on Game Pass. So I was gonna obviously start it either tonight or most likely probably tomorrow, because I think it launches at 11 p.m. or something. But yeah, I haven't read any reviews. I mean, I've seen the scores. I've seen some people say it's difficult. I've seen some people say it's obtuse. I'll make my own judgment and whether or not I like it. But I've been looking forward to it. The trailers have all been really cool. Kind of looks like a Russian BioShock or like a Russian Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
So we'll see. I'll be digging into it. Definitely be digging into it. But I mean, you guys have played it, so you tell me.
I mean, did you wake up in the morning and look for that sweet, sweet yellow Metacritic number, Rand?
No, because it's a multi-platform game, so whatever. I mean, I eventually looked and I was like, 75, which is kind of what I thought it was going to get anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which, I don't know, it's very funny that a 75 is looked down as something bad, right?
It really is.
It really does seem like only games that score an 8 and above are worthy. And even some people will say even games in the low 80s are like bad. It's this weird thing where it's like anything like you would think on a normal review scale, like 5 would be average if it's like 1 through 10.
Yeah.
5 is just an okay game, just an average game or whatever. Doesn't do anything great, doesn't do anything bad. It just kind of exists. But like if you give a game a 5 now, it's like, God, this is the worst thing since malaria or something. You know,
Malaria the game.
Yeah, so like a 7.5 or a 75 out of 100. It's like, hey, that's that's
kind of the same score Dying Light 1 got, wasn't it, Rand? You and I are.
I forget what Dying Light 1 got, but
it was something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the modern review scale because it seems like if it's not an 85 or above, it's not
or an
worth
80.
Playing. Yeah, well, even still, like you remember when Gears 5 came out and we played it early and we were loving it. And then
it's
we
an
were
84
like,
or something.
And I think it's like an 82, and people were like, "Oh, look, it's trash." It's like, what are you talking about? How is it a bad game because it's an 80? I don't know. The whole review scale is sort of
it is. We are spoiled and skewed because of console wars. So we just like the bangers. Even though people are viewing this as exclusive, it's a multi-plat because it's on Game Pass. It's been weaponized so much. And the same people who were capping for Forspoken are kind of like it's a revenge plot for them. And I'm like, okay.
The difference is Forspoken is exclusive, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes no sense. It's like,
well, there is
the only difference is we get to play it for free
in quotes.
Yeah, in quotes. And then you get to pay 70 quid or whatever the hell the price is for this. By the way, this game is beautiful. I saw a lot of people saying downgrade visually. I've only done the starting bit, no shooting, nothing. But I'm just taking screenshots when Xbox lets me. Just doing that. It's just... it's just
when Xbox lets me.
I hear you're having problems with screenshots and game clips lately on your Xbox, guys. What's going on?
Bro... Don't ask me why. I wanted to punch myself in the face for no reason because, well, not for the reason that it wasn't working. I had to reset, turn it on, restart it, hard reset it. And the other game I'm talking about, in that game, like the boss is on easy. I did it on my first try and I was like with party chat with Colt. I'm like, fuck, yes, did it first try. This it's crazy. What happens? Game crashes. I have to restart, play the boss. I'm like, not this game. It's just Xbox fixes.
So do you remember what we had to go through with the Xbox DVR, like on the Xbox One X before the Series X came out? Like you would take like a record something, and then it would end, and you could hear like your Xbox like almost trying to kill itself.
I mean, we're talking Forza Horizon 4 release window. Shout out the Tomb Raider. Put your mind back then. We needed the DVR for making YouTube videos and to share stuff that we're playing. And I would hit record on a race and it would get about maybe a minute in, and I would hear the audio cut out for a second, and I was like, oh, there it goes. And then it would pop up and say, clip recorded. I'm like, you had an hour to go and you stopped at 2 minutes. And I sent my Xbox One X in because Microsoft's like, they tried to fix things. They're like, we'll just replace your console. And then I got the new one back. Same thing. This has been going on for many years.
Yeah, it definitely has been.
Yeah. But I mean,
knock on wood, I haven't really had any problems with the Xbox DVR. I usually record like an hour of footage for stuff. I recently recorded an hour of footage for Hogwarts Legacy for Xbox 2 like 2 weeks ago, and when I usually do that, it records fine. But there were times where you'd record something and then, the audio would drop out and be like, oh, and then the clip would end, or like you would hear the console like struggle to do whatever it was trying to do, and it's like, should they really be having this much problems?
It's like almost 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One X, and the DVR can't even handle recording right now. And the Xbox One X was doing really great. Yeah, I mean, Gaz and I were talking right before the show about how he couldn't even screenshot. And I said, restart your console, and he came back in the party. He's like, it won't let me. I don't know. But they did an overhaul. Jason Ronald and his team did an overhaul, and they kind of changed. They made it its own app. Nobody cares about this stuff. But the problem is, like, just fix it. Just fix it right. Let's talk about Atomic Heart, because the opening, like Gaz said, like really blew me away. And I was really taking in the ambiance of being in this, what do they call it? Like a forward future. What would have happened if Russia would have like made it, if they would have won World War II and they pushed forward and they got it, all the advancements, and a really cool thing. And then I get into the game, and really the game itself is just sluggish, clunky, not very well directed. I'm constantly lost or confused about what I'm supposed to do. Something as simple as Gaz and I were in the party chat. Something as simple as the first thing they do is they said, here's your scanner with your magic glove. And they're like, and on the screen it says press left bumper and right bumper at the same time. It says left bumper plus right bumper to scan. And I'm like, nothing's happening. I'm walking around for 20 minutes like a doofus. And I don't think it was after this when I recorded. I didn't record that part, but I was like walking around going like a fool, and I can't get it to work. And then I was trying everything. And finally I realized I double tapped the right bumper and I can scan. I'm like, that's not what you told me to do. That should have been like the first day of testing. But
remember,
I'm sorry.
Chat, you probably come across that as well. When the scanner comes, if you haven't played this game, listen to Colt. Double tap right bumper. The prompt is wrong. I was like on party chat, luckily, with Colt. And then you told me, I was like, Colt, what do I do here with the scanner? He goes, oh, you have to press right bumper twice. I'm like, what? It just told me LBRB. Yeah, that's weird. That's a bad glitch. I'm surprised. Hopefully they'll day one patch that.
I said right bumper. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, LB, right. LB, RB. Yeah, LB. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just seeing the prompt. I'm like, how did you get this wrong? And then the character, it was really slow. Like he walks really slow, and then I suppose you can sprint, but it's more like he's just kind of barely walking faster. And I had 4 shotgun bullets, which you'll see later on this clip. I am stumbling like a person who's never played a game before, like a dang fool. But
I'm not watching your stuff now. I've been watching it, and I'm like, this is ruining it for me because it's right in front of. I mean, it's not really.
This is all you're not controlling. You're just watching the game take over for you for 20 some minutes. Yeah,
so beautiful. It's like it's a spectacle. It's really nice.
No, Brian says so when I'm playing the game, it told my friends that I'm playing Atomic Heart Windows in parentheses. No, that's been a problem, hasn't it, Rand? You've seen this so many times where we're playing a preview game or a preview build or an early release game, and it says that it's like the Windows version. Or
no. I think this means it's playing anywhere.
Now, okay.
So when it says Atomic Heart Windows, it just means you're playing, I think, the Xbox Play Anywhere version, where it'd be the same saves and the same achievements on both. So whether or not you played it on Windows 10 or on the Xbox, it's just the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I wondered what that.
99% sure that Atomic Heart is Xbox Play Anywhere.
Yeah, if you're playing on PC, you'll have, instead of the controller icon next to the game, you'll get the little computer tower icon. But the Windows thing probably threw a lot of people off if they were looking at me playing the game. But when Focus Entertainment sent me the code, it said, "Here's the code that works on Xbox and Windows," and I put it in my Microsoft Xbox account.
What?
But
might be time to play it on your godly PC, Colteastwood.
No. Oh my gosh, it was so hot in here. That tower just puts out so much heat. Oh my gosh. I mean, I could. The game looks really great, but it doesn't run super smooth. I don't know. We don't have to talk about Atomic Heart too much since Rand hasn't played it. Gaz has only been in the opening segment, but now if you're seeing where you first kind of have control of the game, and it is ridiculously challenging in a lot of ways, and just kind of frustrating. Yeah. Corvo says it's play anywhere. So I don't know. That's a 75 Metacritic. Like Rand said, like that's not a good game anymore. Apparently, Risk It for the Biscuit says, "Expelliarmus, sup Colt, Rand, and Gaz. P.S. I'm not a marcher, Gaz." Oh, Risk It. We knew we had it in you, bro. You hear that, Gaz?
Hey, is that a U10? Nice.
No.
Well done.
A quick aside, since I'm taking over XSC and I'm hosting from now on. I don't know if you guys listened to Mav and Pong on their podcast on Thursday, and Mav gave this impassioned rant about.
I love
marchers,
those guys, by the way. Just want to say,
you know, how people are making fun of them for being marchers and stuff and other sort of things, and you know, the passion in Mav's voice was infectious, right?
Like conviction, Rand.
It wasn't so much conviction. It was like, hey, we're just doing it for fun, you know, blah 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 blah. But people are just like taking this too far out of control, you know.
Oh, really? Is he like more emotional about it?
Yeah, getting emotional, like calling them clowns and like anybody that believes that thing is just like clown or whatever, which, you know.
I had that in the thread. I was like, what's that March thing looking like? And I was just poking fun at it because all of us are guessing, or some of us know stuff, but it's like, it's not a big deal.
Who knows stuff? Cold knows stuff?
You know stuff, Rand.
I don't know. I've had people DM me asking me about.
Wait, Rand, what do you know?
Colt's tweets about what it could mean.
Oh, my big email.
People DM me and been like, hey, Colt's playing Starfield right now, isn't he? Like literally asked me that in DMs. Like, Colt's playing Starfield right now, and I'm like, no, he's not playing Starfield.
If he's playing Starfield, I'm playing Starfield.
The benefits of game
even though
sharing.
you guys game share, there are times where the game share person wouldn't, like when we were playing Psychonauts 2 early, Colt, that was through a different thing. Our game share partner wasn't able to access.
I would expect that for Starfield, and I've told Gaz that. I said if you know, Rand and I are fortunate enough to get to preview Starfield.
I'm not getting one. I'm nobody.
In a toilet.
I ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows that, but they do it in in the insider build, so it's only tied to one gamer tag. And then sometimes, most of the times, that build, no achievements. That progress is wiped when that sucks because I played Halo Infinite twice.
Bro, I played Halo Infinite twice during the review. We had Halo Infinite for a month early, essentially. I beat it twice with no achievements. So if you look at my like time played on Halo Infinite and then my achievements, it's basically nothing.
Right.
I haven't played multiplayer since the second day, and I don't have any achievements for the campaign because you weren't able to get them during the review period. So I don't have any achievements for the campaign. Yeah. But I was thinking about Starfield because I don't know if you guys saw this, but it came up that GOG had a release date for it, June 29th. Remember?
Good old gaming, the people behind CD Projekt Red, and
because it wasn't that long ago when CD Keys said it was March
3rd. So we're gonna believe GOG, but we're not gonna believe Mav and Pong when it comes to CD Keys.
And now GOG says June 29th, which I think is more realistic than March 23rd.
Can we call ourselves GOG boys if we believe in the GOG leak? Yeah.
That sounds weird.
I know. I was like, I could use, like they said, marchers, but that would sound just really bad.
I do think the Starfield Direct is gonna be happening soon. I think it happens in March.
Yeah,
I do as
definitely
well.
March.
We've talked about that here, that I think we should expect to hear that announcement or just this complete leak at the end of February.
It'll be Jez, Tom Henderson, and Jeff Grubb competing to leak the release date.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
It's like a showdown. Like they're like getting ready. They got their revolvers at the ready, and they're getting who's going to pull the trigger and get Xbox to hate them for 3 months. And Jez is like, "I'll do it."
See, who do I have to sleep with to get this insider info? I'll do it.
I think the person you got to sleep with is Special Nick.
That's fine. I don't need to know this information.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Special Nick's in chat, but I hear he still hasn't beaten GoldenEye yet.
How long has it been now?
How long has it been, Special Nick?
Gaz, how does it feel to have almost never talked about GoldenEye's return, but yet get 1,000 gamer score in it before Special Nick?
Yeah, that wasn't my intention. I didn't think I was going to do it. I loved the game. There's a difference between talking about it and then loving it. I'm sure
You mean there's a difference between talking about it and doing it? Wow.
Ooh, sauce.
We better move on before he shows up. Hey, MacBound says...
Nobody tell Nick we were talking about him.
You know, he's got like... When we do that, hey, MacBound says, "I love you guys. I'm going to miss you."
Oh, you can see me in party chat, man. We'll make memes and get pregnant together.
My mod Happy Bomb was like, "Now remember, Gaz is just leaving your show. He's not dying." I'm like, "Oh, right,
You don't know that.
right."
I'm
like, he's still gonna have his sauce videos. He's still gonna be still gonna do go live, and I'm like, right, yeah. Gaz is still here. Literal Table 756. Thank you so much for the Canadian $7. Says, I'd love a Forza Horizon game that goes back to Colorado, but as you play the story, you expand the festival sites with USA with a map akin to Crew 2. You know what I want them to do?
Cool.
It would. I think you and I've talked about this, Rand. What about where Forza Horizon just becomes the game and you can fast travel to Nice, Colorado, Australia? Like they just port those maps into the game. And if you want to play over on those maps, you can just go over to the icon and say fast travel to the Outback. And it's all in one game. And then
I don't know.
And then in 2 or 3 years, when they get ready to make the next Forza Horizon, it's just a whole new big area that you main into. But if you want, you've always got access to the Hot Wheels track maps, Mexico. Or is that just too gigantic to do in one game?
Maybe it's just, have you seen the file size of Forza Horizon 5 right now? It's like 130 gigabytes.
It is.
Now you're talking about adding way more. You'd have a game that's
it would kill a series.
Ridiculously huge. Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, we still don't know what the second DLC expansion is yet.
Now, are we going to hear about it and get a drop in July at the E3 like we did last year?
It's possible. That'd be when I would expect it. They did say they'd talk more about it at the beginning of this year. It's February. The Hot Wheels dropped in July, I believe, right? Last year?
Yeah, end of July.
I could see well, that's the thing. When is Forza coming? Or Forza Motorsport? I guess probably in September, maybe.
October, September, November.
Yeah, so I guess you could probably do the second DLC drop in July or something. I'm very interested in seeing what that is. I do love me some Forza Horizon.
Is it going to be... No! Can you imagine if they did a Grounded themed where everything was bigger?
That's what I said on Xbox too. What I wanted for some DLC was, what if they had this new map, but each map was a partition of an Xbox franchise. So you'd be driving, but then you're in Sarah, and it's all Gears of War related stuff. But then you move into the Rare thing, and it's Sea of Thieves and Banjo-Kazooie.
That's way too cool. That's way too cool,
sure,
man.
It'd be cool. It'd be using Xbox's franchises in a DLC for one of their biggest games that you can go around and drive and experience.
That's true.
Imagine starting a race
It's arcade.
and it goes around the entire island, and you're racing through one of the Halo rings, and then boom.
Yeah,
next
I
thing
mean,
you
it doesn't
know,
have
you're
to
in-
be. They don't have to break their faces making it. They could just throw in decorations
Yeah.
and
I
theme
think
those
that would be
those biomes.
So cool. I think that would be because they sort of did it with 4, where it had the Halo race. Remember the Halo
Yeah,
Halo
that was
ring
good.
race?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
pretty
Just
cool.
take
That was
that
really
idea
well
and
done.
expand it as like a whole DLC where like the island is just all Xbox related stuff.
One
right?
bad
Kind
mother
of like
goes, "Is this a prediction?"
No,
Rand?"
This is just no.
This
Kinda
is
like
just a pipe dream.
Astro's Playroom on PlayStation 5. It was a platformer that had a lot of references to PlayStation, stuff that
lineage.
they've done for years, right? Like,
And that's a brilliant
I think
game.
that
Have
would
you
be
played it,
super
guys?
cool.
Astrobot?
Astro
A
Playroom.
bit of it, and I completed it. Really good.
Oh
game.
yeah, you were fighting against Jeff Grubb on one of the time trials, I think. That game's
No,
brilliant.
I was
and
watching him. He was amazing. I didn't even
Oh,
try.
okay.
Jeff Grubb is really good at games. People don't know that. He's really good at games.
So yeah, that's a really good
Neon
idea,
White.
Rand. I would be more inclined to see Playground just push out one theme. They did the Sea of Thieves thing, but it was barely Sea of Thieves, but barely, right? It was just like the treasure chests and not much else.
They just added, I don't know if you saw, and we don't talk about Sea of Thieves that much because none of us here play it, but they just added Halo cosmetics to Sea of Thieves. Like it's got the energy sword. It has like some of the Needler, and like costumes. Did you not see any of this on Twitter?
No. I'm after the show. My kids and I are gonna go jump on that and check it out.
Yeah,
That game
I
is
don't
just
know if
really
it's
cool once in a
free
while.
or if it costs something. But I was seeing screenshots of pirates with the energy because you have swords in that game. Like it's like basically an energy sword as your sword. So
Okay.
that stuff Xbox needs to do more of, like crossover things between different franchises, right? Like why in
I
Halo
agree.
Infinite, for instance, like why isn't there Gears of War armor or something? Stuff like
Haven't
that.
I said this, Gaz? And you always like tell me to shut up.
What?
He's not even paying attention to us.
I'm looking at chat. Chat is asking you. All the chat's getting messy about the dev who's blocking everyone, who's playing Atomic Heart, and it's just crazy in chat.
Rand, it is
At
a
least one
recipe
of
for
us,
disaster
chat, cares
with two
about
of the
you.
most ADD guys on the entire planet trying to run a show. And I'm like, what was that, Gaz? And you guys go, I don't remember what I asked you. Hold on. What were you saying? It's just like this back and forth.
Gaz is like taking a vacation because I'm here, so he doesn't have to talk as much.
Yeah.
He's over
I
here
like
just
listening to you guys.
braiding his armpit hair. There we go. Yes, and these guys told me not to bring it up, but there is a developer who shall be nameless that is blocking anyone who has mentioned Atomic Heart or said they're playing it. And I don't know. I mean, it's just a video game. We said that with Hogwarts Legacy.
That take their stance. If he feels so strongly because there is a war going, he feels like I can't fathom people playing this game. I just don't want to associate. I just want to block it. It's a filtration system. Then you can do that, but
Yeah.
you can't. I don't expect me to sympathize or care or like that approach because it means like you want to build your little echo chamber and safe space, no dialogue. You're going to cast aspersions. That means you have prejudged every gamer who is enjoying this game, who may not even know the history behind it, doesn't follow the politics behind it. Just Atomic Heart is a video game. They're just innocently sharing the clip, block, like that meme. And I'm just like, okay, there's a weird energy, and there's so much of this political nonsense nowadays. Like Hogwarts, we got it. Now we got it. But this, it's like selective outrage is getting annoying. Like every podcast, it seems like there's some issue that gamers are guilty for playing video games. It's just like we can't escape it. We can't escape it anywhere. Someone will judge us for having fun. It's just like it's stupid. It's stupid. Where were you when you bet that guy was playing Battle for Fallujah or wherever, 50 Cent, Blood in the Sand? He didn't give a damn. It's like people just stop. Just enjoy the game. If you want to get into the politics side and you want to debate it, do that. But if you're not going to even debate people and just going to block gamers, then what does that say about you? That just annoys me. It's just like, let's just talk about games. Let's just talk about I saw that chat and I just thought this is stupid. the person, if you had a dialogue with me, I'd love to have a chat with them and say, so what games have you played in the past and which ones have you boycotted? I know it's a serious situation, but it's just, I don't know. Let's screw it. Anyway, next topic.
Next topic. Yeah. In fact, I just asked the chat. I saw a couple people like, you're spoiling the game. This is the first 58 minutes of the game, and the first 20 minutes is just an on the rails cutscene or whatever. So anyway, if I see an overwhelming amount of people, we'll switch back to just our lovely faces here. But
it's nice to see. I'm playing the game and I'm just enjoying the gameplay. It looks so beautiful. Like, it's like, oh my god, that was violent. I just saw a laser cut someone in.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's amazing.
Risk it for the biscuit. Thanks for the $3 Australian. He says April 12th, Space Flight Day and Grilled Cheese Day. Every day is grilled cheese day.
Oh every man, day. Air fryers. They have enabled me to make grilled cheese.
Risk is going to throw out potential release dates about Starfield until he lands one correctly, right?
He's going to make grilled cheese, and then he's going to read the little crusty marks on the bread and see if he can see a date in there. More and more, I'm really leaning towards June, like end of June maybe, or middle of June. And then some part of me is like, if it just can't make it, it's going to get pushed September. Real quick,
it'll come out whenever it's ready, bro. Whenever it's ready, whenever they're happy
Mom.
with it. Well, I'm just saying, like, everybody's like, oh, when's it gonna come? It's like whenever it's ready to come, right? I'm sure Bethesda has a target, and they're probably working really tough, and maybe they don't know yet if they can hit June, and if they can't hit June, then it'll come somewhat after that.
Yeah.
And I honestly think once they know the date, whether they can hit June or whether they can hit before June, or that it needs to be delayed. And okay, now it needs to be delayed, but okay, this is the date. We will get the direct, and they will announce the release date during the direct. Like I think so like that's what I think is kind of realistically the holdup. They're probably filming all the stuff, getting everything ready, but they know that during this thing at the end, they're going to have to give the release date, right? So
I agree.
Yes.
When you lock in the release date and you know, that's when it's going to happen.
Is she going to pull her little thing out and type it in again in Engine? Because last time you codified it in Engine in your trailer. What
they're going to do is they're going to use that handwritten font, and you'll think the G is a 6, and it'll be a whole other mess again.
Oh my god! Remember that?
remember when they asked Todd about the release date, and he was like, "Well, it's not written in pencil; it's written in pen, right?"
It's written in ink. Yeah, he said.
If you had Todd on camera, and then it pans down, and there's a paper with the old release date, and Todd just takes it and erases it, and then writes the new release date on it.
I'm actually intrigued to see how they do that.
Gaz, we need to see Todd Howard like prick his finger and write that release date in blood on that paper.
yeah, absolutely.
At this point,
Bill Spencer standing there watching them.
Phil Spencer like watching over him. Do it.
He's like, it's so
hot in her. I don't want to do it. Biff Rinaldi, thank you for the $5. Says, what's up, fellas? Finally saw a wild Series X. He sent me a picture of it. Had to block someone for talking bad about you on Twitter too, Colt. Me? Someone
talking bad about Colt? Wow, imagine that.
That's a shocker.
Gotta be like me, not even tweet ever, really.
Seriously, I'll go, Rand, you should see what somebody said about me. And Rand's like, I never tweet. No one ever says anything about me. Udana Kizada with the 5 says, hated what I gave 6 years of my life in the military for, and we have done some bad things, but I don't see people boycotting USA devs or products. Wow, that's some heavy stuff. I was also thinking about that when you were talking, guys. Like, there's studios all over the world who may have political leanings in ways that we probably don't even. Obviously, we may not agree with, and we might not even know about it. But
absolutely, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do an audit of every dev in different regions and start like. You have to understand the essence of gaming. You have that right to do that, but essence of gaming has been just to separate us. The whole point of gaming is to get rid of this weird, violent, often confusing, often beautiful, but crazy world. To escape all of that, go into these worlds and to just realize that. And if you're going to keep doing that, that's going to politicize all of that. What that actually does is prevent or maybe not curtail, but put developers off trying to take this medium a little further in terms of maturity. Let's just see devs be bold enough to take on mature themes as the technology improves. We're going to see better realized worlds. Realism is going to improve. That's going to be another challenge. When games look so good, uncanny valley, where do you draw the line when it comes to violence, or like, you know, how much can you cut up of limbs and stuff? It's going to be really weird. Like, and I like the art style. I like mediums that push the boundaries. If we do that in books, we do that in movies and in gaming as well. So if you're going to keep doing that, it's going to hold back. It's going to hold back. No matter what your view is, it's going to hold it back. So you're going to hold the field back. It's just a form of expression. It's art. So it's just like we need to. Ultimately, though, I do think gamers generally and social media, people are starting to get annoyed at cancel culture. Cancel culture. And they're just like, no, like, and resolutely no. And Hogwarts Legacy proved that. And Atomic Heart, well, it's not good. I don't know. Can we talk about this game? Like, should we move that to the quality of this game? Because it's a 75 meta. People treating it like an exclusive. It's not. So far, it's beautiful. When I loaded up, I was in party chat with you. I'm like, yo, this game looks amazing. Like, I'm like a bit tentative. Like, where does it go wrong, or if it goes wrong, or you know? Actually, hold on, Cole. You know where it goes wrong because you were raging like a piece of in the party chat. You were not enjoying your time. When I was in party chat, you were raging so hard. I've never heard you rage so much about a game.
This game has got so frustrating, and there might be a couple of people who are like, "Oh, you're spoiling the game," but I am fumbling through what would probably take a normal playthrough 10 minutes, and I'm fumbling. In fact, right now you're seeing a lockpick mechanic that I just could not get over. It goes around in a counterclockwise position. When you snap one, it flips, and I just could not get it. I went all the way through Hi-Fi Rush and beat every boss and played all the levels on here, and I'm trying to do this timing-based lockpick maneuver. I'm like, this is not fun. This is so unfun right now. And then the other parts where it's like, you need to get over here. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to figure out? There's frustration is just the word. Just frustration. And a game shouldn't be like that. Like, I don't know.
Rand, you played it?
No. I mean, I think I thought I said at the beginning, I didn't ask for a review copy, so it's not available. As far as I'm aware, it's not available. It's not released to
until tomorrow.
Everybody until tonight, I think. So
what is this
I do have the game. I do have the game downloaded. So
I also turned off the subtitles for the show because then you'd be able to read what was being said. But
what about the? Are you using English voiceovers? Because I hear the English voiceover is not very good. You should choose
your main character. His name's P3, Rand.
Yeah, Phil Spencer. And I regret not recording the bit where he goes, "Oh, these bots are," and I'm like, "Oh shit, it's Phil Spencer."
Oh, P3, these bots out here. The voice actor sounds exactly like V, the male V from Cyberpunk, and exactly like the main character from Dying Light 1 and 2. Even though those are two different people in Dying Light 1 and 2, they sound exactly the same. It's the Troy Baker sound alike, kind of. But this guy sounds just like the guy that plays V in Cyberpunk, for those of you that actually played. I know Gaz and Rand didn't play the whole game.
Did.
But
how much did you play? That.
Yeah.
I went quite far on PC, then I restart them. That's another game I need to go back on. My backlog is insane.
It is off-putting. It's off-putting in this game that everyone is like really Americanized. I would have much preferred the Metro Exodus approach, where everyone has a heavy, Eastern European accent. So that can be kind of weird, but it's a cool game. I just need to figure out why stuff isn't clicking with me and why I'm doing terrible at the combat. So this is kind of embarrassing footage. But right now, if you're watching the live, the vending machine is a female voiced robot that is trying to come on to you. and Jez was talking about it on social media today, that she is always like using euphemisms and trying to pick you up, so to speak. So very interesting game, but that's Atomic Heart, and it's free with Xbox Game Pass. Subject to terms of $10 a month, and you have to pay up to all that stuff, right? But
ACG liked it.
ACG loves it, and I usually line up with them. So
yeah, I do too. Apart from Callisto Protocol, which I thought was okay.
We liked Callisto, and he didn't. He called you out on Twitter. He was mad that you liked it. He's so funny.
He's funny. He's a nice guy.
Yes.
No. Look, you're getting a lot. Well, what I'm seeing I'm watching you play it right now. It looks really unique. The art style looked good. It was very smooth when I was playing it. Visually, the buildings, like the style of it, almost like it just looked so good. Like, why is there such... The sense of scale in this game was amazing. Mm-hmm. So I'm really like, I just want it to be good. So maybe it's, mechanically, like all the stuff that you say, I trust you. Yeah, it falters. But hopefully that doesn't detract away from the fun later on. It's one game. Basically what I'm trying to say is I really want this game to be good. Because I really like what I played first. So I said to chat, I was like, let me play an hour before the show because I was playing the other game. And because I'm addicted to that game. And I'm like, let me play Atomic Heart. Kind of put off by the reviews because, I'm like, all right, this amazing game, which I think will review really well. And then I'll play this. And then instantly the boat scene, you've seen it on YouTube and stuff. I'm like, yo, this game looks amazing. And then I'm going a little further. Like, this game looks amazing. Like, smooth. Visually looks stellar. And then the dialogue, like, forget the dialogue of the characters. It's more the playing on the speakers. And there's these drones flying around. Loads of NPC, like, crowds marching. And I'm like, there's attention to detail. It's just done really well. And that was just before the show. So I haven't had combat. That's where all things can go wrong. The AI might be crap and all of that stuff. But I just want it to be good. And I didn't expect it to be pulling me. This morning I predicted it would get 74 Metacritic, and I think it's 74, 75.
You did like yesterday you did before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a couple supers here about Atomic Heart before we move on from talking about it, and then the footage will be wrapping up in just a little bit. But Lawrence Davenport says, thank you for this one. He says, I've lived in Russia and they have no freedom of speech or due process. The government is arresting anyone who speaks out against the special military op. I'm fortunate to live where I do. Is crazy. Dickie Darling says, actually having fun with Atomic Heart, set PC and Xbox to New Zealand so he could play early. And Danny Pastor says, Resident Evil 3 remake came out the same month as the COVID lockdown. It did? The one with Jill Valentine? March? Do you remember that, Rand? Resident Evil 3 remake?
Resident Evil 3 remake?
Do you remember when that came out?
Let me check.
Resident Evil 3?
I don't remember that being a milestone time.
2019.
April.
Did we get lockdown in March?
April 3rd,
2020. Sorry.
Yeah, like not even a month later. I don't remember that. I wonder what in the chat. Let us know what game came out. Like, what was the new game when? I mean, some of you were sent home, but everyone knew when it happened. So it would have been March 2020.
It was Doom Eternal. It was Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. Literally came out the same day in March.
Oh my days! Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I went clubbing because I was like, this COVID stuff is overblown. So on my Instagram, I'm like partying out, and I'm like COVID-19 confirmed, and I'm just like in a club, and that's how I use. That's the image I used to check when COVID happened, because I'm like, did not realize how the world was going to be completely different after that moment, and that changed everything. And just see the innocent little faces partying up, like, yeah, massive crowds, and life was never the same again. well,
It was never the same. I was at my job, my full-time job. I'm not a YouTuber full-time for those people who think maybe I am. I have a job that I have to drive across town to and be there at 6 a.m. And I got transferred to a different office. I was told I had to be transferred, and I did not like it. And I was there a month. And I'm there a month, and they wouldn't let me work from home one day a week like I used to. And I was miserable. And then when COVID hit, over that weekend, my work emailed and said, if you've previously worked from home, don't come in Monday. We'll let you know when you can come back. And I've been home ever since. Thank goodness. And then I got transferred back to my regular office, but life will never be the same. And Rand, it was a big time. The Xbox Series consoles were about to be unveiled, and the PS5, and Xbox was buying studios, and we were so happy. But speaking of the Series X, Brad Sams put out a video today on a sort of a slight, this will be really quick, but a slight concern that Rand and I talked about the other day. Like, Rand was like, Cole, have you noticed the Series X, the $500 Series X isn't really available, and it hasn't been very late lately? I think it's how kind of you said it. And we were looking in all the major retailers, you can't find one. And Rand lives in the middle of the US. I live on the Pacific coast, and we've never seen one in a store. But then we hear other people say, I can find them whenever we want. But Brad Sams did a bunch of scouring, and he is under the impression that Xbox has really either slowed down their production of the Series X console, which is, we think, is greatly affecting the growth of the console platform for Xbox. I want to start with Gaz on this one, because you said in the UK, they're everywhere. So what do you think's going on?
I have a feeling they're just gonna slowly wean off the console itself, add bundles, and that's how they're gonna deal with their price hike globally.
Okay.
And you're gonna launder the price hike through bundles. But if that's the case, if the Xbox Series consoles launder it, because they are out in the wild. Actually, let me check. We'll check Amazon. No, you can still buy the console right now here in the UK, but with PlayStation 5, you can only get the bundles, Horizon bundles and God of War bundles. I saw twice on the train people with randoms with the God of War bundle, £540. They're readily available. You can get them tomorrow now. So the PlayStations are out in the wild, no supply issues as well. And they're bundling their games. That's the only way you can get it. You can't get the PS5 one, so Sony don't care about customer freedom. But yeah, that's what they're doing. But I don't know, man. Seems like a you problem, because every time we're on party chat, I'm like, no, Cole, it's available. He's like, no, it's not. I'm in Washington, where this is the home of Xbox.
I'm right next to Phil Spencer.
Are you?
No. I just think that, yeah, like, hey, can I borrow some eggs, Phil? No. I think maybe in the UK, not as many people want an Xbox, so they're easily found. Rand, what do you think? I know you don't want to talk about this too long, because what is there to say, but how would you kind of button up this situation with the Series X? Because you were slightly concerned, or like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The stock situation is abnormal. PlayStation was just celebrating, greatly. They made TV ads. They made huge PS5s and like giant axes, Kratos axes, to celebrate that, the PlayStation 5 is now available. Like, you can go get it wherever. And this past holiday here in the States, it was mostly the Series S that was on sale. Series X was very much not around. And yesterday I went to like all the different websites, and I couldn't get a Series X, a $500 Series X, because I will mention that the $560 Series X with Forza Horizon 5 is available. You can get those at pretty much any website, Microsoft Store, the Best Buys, the Amazons and stuff. So those seems like they're in stock. But the $500 one, at least from my searching, like GameStop and everywhere, it was basically like all sold out. Or Amazon was by invitation only.
Yep.
All the stores around me basically had none, and I live in Chicago. So I was just like, I wonder what's going on. And, we had heard for a long time that Microsoft was putting the Series X's in the cloud, the Azure servers for xCloud. And, so that may still be a possibility. Maybe they're also working on cost reductions. PlayStation also just have like a new version of the PlayStation 5 out that has reduced the cost to manufacture it. It's possible like Microsoft and the Series X are going through the same process of getting the cost down on that console. I don't know. Definitely weird that we are it's 2023, and you would think by now the supply of the consoles would be like, all right, we're readily available, but I guess depending on where you live, like I said, if you're in the UK like Gaz, you can just go on any website and get one. But like where I'm here in Chicago, I just look on any website and I can't get it, period. So it'd be a little, even when I check GameStops, like locations that are all around me, they're all out of stock too. I know there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that people will say like, oh, I just went to my Best Buy today and I saw 10 there or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's always true about anecdotal stuff. But I do wonder what's going on. Maybe they're trying to hold back some stock to try to get ready for a Starfield launch. Like, hey, we finally have a huge game available. We may need to make sure that we have consoles available for people to buy because Starfield is that game, right? Yeah. Starfield is that game, and there better be a Series X bundle for Starfield.
Even hopefully a themed consoles. What we're really hoping for too.
Not even a themed one, but like I'm saying, you look at the Forza one right now, and Forza is probably Xbox's biggest franchise that's exclusive because Minecraft really is, but Minecraft's literally everywhere. If you look about their exclusive games, I think you can make the argument Forza Horizon is bigger than Halo at this point, especially with all the trouble Halo's going through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when people are looking to buy a new console or whatever, it's like Forza Horizon is an older game. Granted, it's the $100 version that's bundled with it, so I understand there's extra content. But I think the way PlayStation does it is a little bit better, where it's like, we're bundling with Horizon. Horizon's a brand new game. If you're jumping in here, boom, you get a brand new game. Here's God of War. You're jumping in, you get a brand new game. So I sort of feel like if Xbox does these bundles, like Gaz says, to sort of do a unofficial, official price hike, where it's like, okay, now the system's $560 because there's a game with it, or you have to do one with Starfield, because Starfield is the one that has the most potential, is potentially the biggest new IP that Xbox is going to release since the OG Halo. There's going to be a lot of eyes on that, potentially a lot of people wanting to join the ecosystem, and it would behoove you to have a console that's literally, here's the game and here's Starfield. Buy this for $560 so you can play this game.
The past 12 months, they haven't had a tentpole or flagship game to launch with a console. And
what do you mean people wouldn't spend $500? You're saying people wouldn't spend $560 for a Pentiment bundled Xbox Series?
I mean, I know a couple people who might, but I think people in this room here, people watching might not have. But, iMill in the chat says, they're losing $100 every Series X they sell. Why would they be pushing out that stock? But I would venture to say they're possibly losing more money on the Series S than they would on the Series X, but that's just my guess. Gaz, do you have any guess on the amount of money they're losing or why they would be paring back the Series X before we move on?
I don't care.
There you go. I already have my console. I'm good. I mean, the whole, if they're they're building that Series X chipset is bigger, and it's a different chipset completely than the Series S, and they're throwing those into weird. Server racks. You find it what?
I find it so eye-wateringly high that Phil Spencer threw out the $100 per console loss. That is, to me, astronomical. Like, normally losses like $20, $30, but
doesn't sound believable.
That doesn't sound. Maybe we're just throwing the number there. We're losing like 100. That I can't do an American accent. But like, it is quite a lot. I don't know if it's because they're cloud. What is Cloud's engagement like? Is xCloud doing
it's on the up.
Well?
It's on the up. I can't remember. I shared out the numbers the other day, but it's been growing. I don't know, 2.1 million last year.
It's one of the reasons why Microsoft reported that Xbox had 120 monthly active users, which is the high ever for them.
It was like Fortnite on a phone.
Even though Microsoft told the CMA that PlayStation had more monthly active users, but then Microsoft went and reported that Xbox had more monthly active users than PlayStation. But the thing, everyone's like, how's that possible? Xbox is lying. Phil Spencer lies yet again. He's lying constantly. The thing is, people forget.
He lied. Love it.
Xbox also has Windows 10 PC. Everything's there. They got stuff on Steam. They have streaming. I mean, Fortnite is free. You can stream. You can just stream Fortnite through Xbox. Remember, Fortnite's not available on Google or iOS stores, right? Because both of them blocked it. And they've reported how many new people that has brought in. So I think streaming's doing well for them. And it started making up some of the monthly active users. And that's definitely something that is forward-looking. And it sort of seems like Xbox is more concerned about 10 years from now. They're more concerned about 2033 than they are about 2023 at this point in time, right? Because all these consoles are being built and they're being put into the cloud. And a lot of the teams are focused on the cloud because they view that that's the future. That's going to be the big market. And they're sort of like, well, 2023, either way. As far as like the cost of the console, I mean, I know they lost their shirt on the OG Xbox. I mean, that's very much a documented thing where like basically they were giving, like they would sell those and they were losing so much money on it. They have to be losing a little bit on the Series X because even PlayStation, who's usually very good at the hardware stuff because they've been doing it forever, they had reported that a little bit after launch, I think they were breaking even on the PS5, but they were still losing a ton on the digital, right? Because there's really no cost savings on the digital. It's just the removal of the disc drive, which doesn't cost that much anyways, which is why you don't really see a lot of digital consoles available. So
it's like a $7 add-on for them, Yeah,
with the Series X, it's possible Microsoft paid more in like costs and supplies and all that sort of things than PlayStation did. And it's taken a little bit longer for those costs to come down. I mean, with all the inflation going on right now and Xbox not raising the cost of the console everywhere else like PlayStation did, even though they just announced, I think I just saw they just announced they raised it in Sweden or something. Maybe
they did. Yeah.
They just raised the price there. And you have the new Forza bundle. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're not selling it because they not saying stop production, but maybe they're waiting on a cheaper version of the Series X that is more cost reductive that they can then push into the market where they don't lose as much, or maybe they're breaking even around the time like Starfield and the bigger games come out because that's what people are going to be looking for. As far as the Series X, I don't know. It's a cheap system. It's a really good system for what it offers. You would think that they're losing money on that, but that is the one system that is constantly available. So
the Series S,
constantly. You have one.
Yeah. I have two of them. Yeah, they're really good. People clown them, but you have to actually play on one to understand. It's kind of a miraculous little machine. You and I were talking the other day about the unmitigated hate for Redfall. I gotta move into this news about Redfall because even Gaz was saying like they have been speaking up about Redfall like every week, but we just found out there's no tether in the open world when you play in co-op, and like in classic Xbox fashion, we thought maybe they would have a tether like they did with Halo Infinite and State of Decay 2. So Gaz, what's your thoughts of what's going on with the Redfall so far and what you've seen? And
so
you're still excited.
One of the games that the developers actually are sharing screenshots and trailers and clips off, which is good. The game looks great. When they announced that, I thought immediately thought, hold on, how's that working? Because it's 4-player co-op. We've been told that tether is needed. Halo obviously had very generous tether. I played co-op with you and Hoggy, and it was pretty. I was like, yo, you guys are miles away from me. Not miles, but really far.
You were always charging ahead miles away. But anyway.
Yeah. But it's fun. Like you can snipe, like, because the sandbox in the Halo's campaign is really big. You can snipe and then people are up close and it's like, yo, it's working really well. Whereas with this one, there is no tether at all. And initially I was like a bit concerned, like, what does that mean? There's not a lot of dynamism in the game world. Is there not a lot of physics stuff there? Like, you can shoot something and it'll because that's the tricky part, is replicating the physics and the dynamism of the world for everyone, so there's uniformity in the game world. But then we do see the gameplay of it. It doesn't, like, obviously it's not a game that necessarily needs a ton of like Bethesda, like throw a can of tin beans here and there or whatever. But when I was watching the trailer back, I'm like, it plays how it should, and things move as it should, like crates break and like they should and stuff. So I don't know. I just think it's quite impressive. I do think that the game worlds in Redfall will be a lot more, despite being open world, the way they'll be designed. I'm expecting, I haven't played the game, and based on some of the looking back at the trailers, it will be a little bit more constrained in design to enable that. So they're not fully like Halo Infinite, because Halo Infinite's open world is going to be very different to Redfall's. It's going to be more curated areas, more open area. But it's really impressive. Like, I'm like, all right, everything sounds really good with this game. Let us play the game. We've got a date. It's not far. I can't wait. I'm actually really hyped for Redfall. I didn't think
they just let
IGN.
They let IGN have like a whole showcase for it, and I got to ask Rand about the. I would love to play Redfall as soon as possible. Let me ask Rand about the dedicated server thing. Maybe this answers part of your question, Gaz. Rand, remember they said that it'll use dedicated servers for Redfall? It won't be peer-to-peer? Do you know, like, how does that affect... Yes, they have. Yes.
I mean...
Let me corroborate it.
Yeah, you get that quote, Colt. You need to be prepared for this podcast.
Well, sometimes... I tell Gaz to do something. You can't just sprout
anything you want to say and just say it's the truth. That's not how it works.
I thought that was the part of being on YouTube, is you just throw stuff out there and hope it sticks.
Yeah, of course. You just make stuff up and everybody believes you. But you got to be very negative. See, but the thing is, you got to be negative about it.
Yeah, you do. Let me see if I can find something. Jez on Twitter says people are mad. It's loading up.
Always mad.
People are mad at Redfall for its dedicated servers, but I'm okay with it. Why? Because I can't play peer-to-peer Monster Hunter Rise with my bro in real life. And that's just a Jez tweet. But I don't know where that information comes from. But we typically trust Jez Corden, don't we, Rand? So what is
I don't. I think this is more based on the fact that Redfall is a always online game, so I think Jez assumes it's like using dedicated servers because of it.
Oh yeah, because they would have to be hosted by Arcane in order for it to be always online.
But I mean, I don't know if they've talked about what type of server situation there is. And the reason people are pissed about the always online thing is because it's like, if you buy the game and you spend your hard-earned money on it and you buy it, you want to play it. But then 20 years from now, they could take the servers down and you can't play a game that you spent your money on, which I totally get. You want to be able to play the things that you spend your money on. But there's also someone like me who couldn't care less about it always being online, because I don't really play my Xbox unless it's online. And
now,
to be honest with you, I'm going to play through Redfall.
Yeah.
Play through it probably by myself one time, probably with friends a second time. Maybe I go back to it 6 months later when new characters drop, but I guarantee you, after that, I will never go back to Redfall ever again. And I wouldn't care if the servers went off, because I'm not looking to play Redfall 20 years from now, but I understand other people are, and I get it. My question is more of along the lines of, why does this game need to be always online? Right. Like, is there something they're doing behind the scenes? Like, are you using the cloud in some way?
I think it's a universal DRM that they're just putting across all platforms, and they're using that as, hey, it's got to be always online. And you're like, why? But to themselves, they're saying, because we don't want people to pirate the game on PC, and we just built this across all platforms. The other thing I want to ask Gaz about, because you've been so fierce on the hashtag Forever Physical, why is it okay for PC people to never buy a game on disc since 2005, and because only console gamers are held to the standard of, I like to own my games, I want them available to me at all times? But there was somebody in the chat said, gosh darn it, they said, the Sosa says, if the servers go down at launch, we're all screwed. So yeah, I'm like, absolutely. If the servers go down, but a game like they always say, if they can shut down the servers at any time and your game's gone. It's like, I can only think of one game. I bought Battleborn on Xbox and Steam, and even if I owned it on disc, I could never hit play because the servers are completely down because that game completely died. And the only time a game really gets shut off, let me go back to our other overlay. We're done with watching this footage. The only time that servers go down is when a game just fails and just dies into obscurity, and they're usually, but this is a single player game. I said enough.
I mean, like I said before, this is a co-op game primarily. It's just that the studio feel like they have a legacy where they need to not to stray too away from their single player roots. So because they're hardcore fans or legions of fans that had an affinity with Dishonored and Prey and all their games like that, Deathloop, they associate single player experience with them, which is why they feel like the pressure to say that. But the game does actively promote co-op, and that's the way the game was built. So really, to me, it makes a little difference because I'm not playing it single player like Rand you are. I'm playing this with Cole. I'm playing for games like this. For me, it's like the Left 4 Dead syndrome. Like, play it together, it just makes the experience great. That's just different strokes for different folks. I just like that.
I think Redfall might be even better alone, even though it's made to be co-op. I think it might be a more immersive experience. But you know what? I've already planned on. I'll have Layla as my character, and I'll play by myself. And then when you're like, yes, okay, I will. I'm not Zocker. Like, famously, like Zocker, we give Zocker a hard time because he'll start a game and he won't deviate. He never joins Dealer and I or Rand or you. He's like, nope, I'm already playing. Rand's done that to me a few times. Rand, you're going to do that to me.
That's not true.
But I'll always come back and play with you. I'll have a second character for co-op. I'll have a second character for co-op.
You have to have a second character for co-op because only the host gets progress, which is still a weird decision because games have figured out like. And even like the whole like, hey, no tether thing, which is great, but I even asked you, Colt, like Saints Row that came out in August, big open world, and you weren't tethered. And I don't know if they had dedicated servers or if that was peer-to-peer. It certainly wasn't always online.
Yeah, but that game is janky as hell, man. It doesn't even have physics.
And it bombed. It was like $100 million.
Fun.
I don't know if that was a topic, but $100 million for Saints Row. It seemed like what
did they? Yeah, what was that? What was that news piece about Saints Row? They said we're not backing down, but
Embracer. They had their financial reports or whatever. They talked about like, I think it was that Saints Row was over $100 million, and it didn't perform. You mean? Guys, am I saying this right? Didn't perform up to their expectations or something?
That sounds like a Square Enix quote.
Yeah, it does.
And apparently they're not backing away from. Because that was another game mired in controversy or from fan backlash, like, oh, you made it all change and work and stuff, and they're like, we're not backing down from it. But 100 million is like 100 million for Saints Row. Like,
they've been working on that game since Agents of Mayhem in 2017 or 2018, so it's been a while. And that is
you guys can stick it. You guys can stick it because Dealer and I had a ball with that game. It was so fun. That was like really old. Oh, we had a ball. We just love it. We just love it.
As long as you enjoyed it.
We did enjoy it. I'm gonna ask the chat. I'm playing Redfall mostly alone or co-op. Mostly. What do you think you're gonna do? There is the poll for you to vote, and the vote makes you a part of us. Hit the like button. We have over 1,100 people who are watching XNC podcasts. I'm here with
1,100 people. Hit the like button.
Yeah, like all 1,104 of you.
Hey, and you didn't even talk about the big Redfall news that happened this week. I got everybody upset. You glossed over it because we went immediately.
Oh well, it is almost an entire week old, isn't it, Rand? When did that drop?
No, it's not, you want
to bring that in?
Friday. It happened on Friday because Gaz got upset.
Oh,
when everybody was like, "It's not going to have a disc,"
Friday.
And everybody was like, and then they're like, "No, guess what? It's going to have a disc." And everyone's like, "Oh, okay, but it still sucks," or whatever.
Yeah, no. So VGC ran the news. Actually, it was Bethesda's fault there.
It was.
It was.
FAQ page and they did acknowledge it as like, hey, it's wrong, and VGC ran with it. Basically, chat.
Was it mostly centered
Redfall.
around? I'm sorry, guys. I got to say real quick. Was it mostly centered around the collector's edition or something? What was just had a game code in
It was all
it?
physical. No, it was all physical. Apparently, all physical editions of the game didn't ship with a disc, and I was just like,
okay.
what, like. The hell does that mean? That just makes stupid. Because this is where Phil Spencer's sound bites come back to bite him in the arse. It's just like saying
The preservation.
game preservation. And then a lot of people made this point, which I think is a fair point. In my opinion, that reflects this current landscape. People said, well, game preservation doesn't mean physical all the time. It means digital game preservation.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did say that. And it makes complete sense. And that's the game preservation I care about. My library of games digitally. Because I'm all digital.
Do you guys feel like, Gaz, you and Rand, do you guys feel like when you buy a game digital, like you own it forever? I do. Maybe that's super fraudulent. But like I used to, and that's me personally, I used to buy a disc and I always felt like that disc was primed and ready to sell on eBay or take into GameStop if I was like done with it. But when I buy a game digitally, I can't get rid of it. I feel like it's forever mine. And when I hear people say #forever physical, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Bro, how is it your poll?
I know, I'm loving it. Love it.
Love it. I'm shocked by those results. 78% of you are going to play Redfall alone.
78% of you are just like Randall Thor. How do you feel, Rand?
No, I already said I'm going to play it in co-op.
I know, but you said you're going to play it alone first, and I think
I
people
didn't say alone first. I said I'm going to play it alone and in co-op. You know, I don't know if I'm going to get a review copy. If I get a review copy, I might have to play it by myself because there may not be many people to play it co-op with, right?
I have got accredited by the company that gives the codes. I will be getting Redfall so we can play together. Will you play with me, Rand? Of course not. You like talking about it, but you just
the problem is you two, your awake schedule is never in line, no matter how late.
Rand doesn't sleep.
It's not the way. It's just I don't get on Xbox until later in the day and at night, and usually Jez is gone by then. It's the same thing with Jez. Like me and Jez have played like one game together, and we've been doing a podcast together for almost 6 years this year. But it's just the times I'm on Xbox and the time he's on Xbox are just completely different.
Yeah,
I just wish Gaz wasn't. He just was closer on at least a normal, like Central Time or.
I told him to move here,
not UK.
Quit his job,
quit
your job, and move to the States. Move somewhere in between Washington and Chicago so you can get excellent pizza and dank burgers over here in Washington. We love it.
You can find a law firm here in the States, Gaz, that you could work.
We do that
right?
stuff here, don't we, Rand? Do we have lawyering?
I'd love to do that.
I think we do.
Oh yeah, your lawyers in America get paid crazy.
Hey, shout out, bro. Speaking of lawyers, shout out to Hogue who freaking got on the podcast the other day.
Yeah.
That was so awesome.
It's so
Chat,
good to see.
You probably know Hogue. Gaz and I had him on here a couple months ago. He suffered a massive stroke, and he like was on camera like, just like, it's Hogue, man, and he sounded great. I love that. That made me feel really fantastic.
Yeah, it was super awesome to see Hogue back.
Do you think we'll see an Xbox Plus 2 with Hogue in the pipeline, like in the chamber?
I would love to have Hogue on Xbox 2 plus 1, but I'm sure he's got a lot more important things to go through and consider. Like, he's got a long road ahead of him, but it's great to see that he's got the support and.
And he's the hotness in demand because he's such a good guy, and glad to hear he's doing better. It just seems like for us, it seems like it's happened so quickly for him to come back and get on a camera and smile and talk. But for him, it's been crazy. But let me read.
I have another point to make about the Redfall thing, right?
Oh yeah, that you didn't make a video about it. Throwing a fit.
I didn't make a video about it because it literally also then was.
Debunked.
Debunked later that day. It's funny because as soon as the news hit, GameFly's like, we're going to be renting copies. And it's like, well, how would GameFly be renting copies if it didn't have a disc, right? But either way.
They're burning their own.
The thing about this is this also sorts of applies to Xbox in general. And I've said this literally a couple times where it's like, no matter what Xbox does, goalposts always shift. And what I mean by that is, and I've talked to you about this, Colt, and I've talked about it with my own chat, is that if Redfall and Starfield are great, Xbox had nothing to do with it. It's all on Bethesda, right? But if Redfall and Starfield...
Colin Moriarty's already put that in there.
Right,
He's already loaded that
Love it.
If Redfall and Starfield are bad, then it's all Xbox's fault. Xbox is the reason those games are bad. Xbox is ruining Bethesda. I bring that up because I want to make mention that Bethesda, from what we understand, is sort of independent of Xbox, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And like, I want to say their decision to use to always be online, or if they were going to use no discs, I would say, could guarantee you that is Bethesda and Arcane's choice. It's not something Xbox would force on them or Xbox to tell them to do. However, when it's presented that way, it's always, Redfall's always online. It's effing Xbox. They're just ruining everything. When more than likely, it's Bethesda's own choice to do it. Because when it's negative, it's Xbox's fault. When it's
Every
positive,
time.
it has nothing to do with Xbox, right? So, yeah.
Oh, man.
I agree.
I'm just
Gaz, am I going to get demonetized for putting the foot on the camera? I hope so.
What were you even doing? What were you even doing? Just went, I love it. Love it. Just got your foot out and just kicked the camera 3 times.
It's that gift that he loves to use when talking about Tim Dog, when Tim's like, love it, love it, love it.
Tim is so awesome. He called me today and he's like, Colt, ABK. Teal's totally getting blocked, Colt. Love it. I love Tim so much.
Did Tim call you and tell you it's going to get blocked? Is it over?
We were on the phone yesterday because it depends on what day it is. You know, Saturday, everything's going to be, it's going to make it. We're going to be swimming in games. And then the next day it's getting blocked. The next day he thinks that he saw something that, I love Tim. Let me read a couple supers here before we move forward. This is from Overheated Eskimo. What a great name. Thank you for the £5. He says, a lot of people tripping on Atomic Heart moved to New Zealand for a day, been enjoying it. Mr. Matty Plays acting like it's a bad game. And I saw Matty Plays getting a lot of crap and heat today for not liking the game. And I literally sat here in my little chair today and told you I was so frustrated with the game and that it was not super fun and it needed some work. Please let reviewers give their opinion. If you don't agree, don't follow their stuff anymore, but please play the game and then say, hey man, I really like Gotham Knights. I know ACG said it was crap, but I really enjoyed Gotham Knights. Yeah, that's really where it goes.
Did you see
Money
that
back.
guy from IGN who he had to take down his PlayStation VR 2 review?
I have that on the list. I didn't know when we were going to talk about it, but
I mean, Blessing from Kind of Funny.
Yeah, Kind of Funny. Sorry, not IGN. Yeah,
he used to work at IGN, right?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Oh, okay,
Greg Miller and all those guys used to work at IGN, but I don't think Blessing worked.
Oh, okay. I thought I recognized him from IGN stuff, but what happened,
so
guys?
Crazy. Well, all these ponies descended onto this review like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. I'm like, bruh, you guys ain't even gone eyes on with the bloody headset. At least he has. He's got a different opinion. It's like they just lambasted him to the point where he had to remove his review. It was just like, yo, you guys are so
Well, he didn't
feral
remove the review. He had to remove the tweet sharing the 2-hour discussion with Paris Lilly and one of their other co-hosts where they like broke down everything they loved and didn't love. And he's like, comments disabled, right? For the first part of the day. And then
why did you just mute it? Just mute that thing and just let go. Like, people are morons. Like, let him have his opinion. But then again, it comes with the space. Like, none of us are immune to it. Like, we still get it for delay Halo, which is right, yeah. And so, like, it doesn't matter. Like, but one of the things, it's not nice, but I saw the horde descend onto him But and the funny thing is, they haven't even played it because it hasn't come out yet, or it's coming out tomorrow or whatever. It's just like, yo, you guys are not
PlayStation fans will eat their own, bro.
Yeah, they definitely will. And they were like, oh, look at this Xbox fan tracking this plane, which wasn't even an Xbox fan. It was Xbox fans.
What happened to the gaming news, guys? What is this?
It's slow gaming news week. So
Eurogamer of all people, the team
That's
behind
bad.
Digital Foundry, Eurogamer says Xbox fans are tracking the Santa sleigh on Christmas Eve with their phones. But,
Yeah,
they're
like
tracking.
the flights of Sony execs. I'm like, it was one guy. It's not fans plural.
Did you
He's
see
an
the
analyst.
image
Is he
of
even
the
an
guy?
Xbox fan?
No,
Did
I
you
don't
see
think
the
he's even a
image?
gaming fan.
Did you
He's
see
not
the
even a gaming fan.
No, you guys didn't see the guy wearing the green warm-up suit and the green Xbox hat run on the runway and stick a tracker on the bottom of the plane.
I thought it was Tim Dog because he loves it.
Tim Dog outside the airport. Oh, they just saw me. Oh, remember his video when he was at Best Buy?
Best Buy, Xbox got MPD on lock.
Xbox guys,
Love it.
gotta love Tim.
Moneybag97 says, oh geez, we're going off the rails. He says crazy ponies hate Game Pass, but it isn't The Last of Us show on a rental service, and they act like PS Plus is gold this month. What was the PS Plus game that came this month that was really awesome?
Horizon Forbidden West, The
Ooh,
Quarry,
brand new.
Borderlands 3. There's some pretty good games. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're over here wishing that games with gold just got out.
Totally different things, but yes. 'Cause those weren't the PlayStation Plus games. Those were the PlayStation Premium games. That was the second tier.
Yeah,
not
that's
the
the
first tier.
That's the pay-as-you-go, baby. Moneybag also says, in 2023, if always online was a problem, then your cable TV, music, and online. I always say, always online isn't a problem for me because if my internet's out, it's because my power went down. But, one of my friends said, people like to load up a game like Redfall on their laptop and get on the train and do their hour-long commute to work, just play a single-player game, and you can't do that with Redfall. So I say, hey, Arcane, fix that, but it probably won't move. Moneybag has one more. He says, isn't Fortnite, Apex, Warzone, Roblox always online?
But they're multiplayer games. So
but they're multiplayer games, yeah. Boner Jams. I love Boner Jams. He says, your boy is pumped for Star Wars. He says Sith Survivor, but it's... Now he made me forget the name of the game. Rand, help me out. Jedi Survivor. And the new... I can't read that because I don't know what that is.
You know what it is? Hold on, chat. Let's call him out on it because I can't read that because I don't know what that is.
I only know it because one of my friends put that name on a picture of me and I knew it was an insult. All right, let's move forward. Sure. Moneybag says again. Well, actually, there is one that Dealer did of Rand with a logo on it that he always shares.
That was me. Then he shared it. I'm sorry, Rand. You love it.
Thanks for coming. Moneybag with another $5. Thank you, Moneybag. Says people fail to realize money in bank digital, but concerned when game digital. If you have 100,000 bank, you can't get it that day. I'm just saying. I don't know what that means, but your conviction
says you can't. If you have $100,000 in the bank and you want to take it all out, you go to the bank. They will not let you take out all of it.
Oh, okay. But you can wire it. Is that what he means?
Technically, he's saying like the number is digital. Like they don't actually have $100,000 of your money at that bank at that time because it's just digital numbers. But yeah, I mean he is right. If like you have $100,000 in savings or whatever at a bank and you go in there and be like, I want all of it now, they'll be like, no, come back in a week maybe.
What?
They're like, will you take it in quarters?
They will.
Will you take it in gold bullion?
Straight away.
Cash?
Transfer it straight away. Yep.
I'm talking about getting cash.
Oh, actual cash they're holding.
Yes.
Fiat.
Not transferring cash.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, like transfers, I do that every day, like millions of pounds. It's like, what if they don't have it?
You're not gonna go to that bank and get millions of pounds cash from them.
Well, it's also laundering, but money laundering concerns if you pull out that much cash. But that's what they say. but they don't have that money. The bank borrows that money and it just moves it around. It's all fake money, man. That's all the markets are built on. Have you not seen The Big Short? Incredible movie. The whole banking system in this world is built on that consolidated debt obligations and stuff like that, where people start betting on these CDOs and then they launder the subprime loans. Shut up, guys. This is a gaming podcast. Yeah, you're right, Rand. Yeah.
Look at Cole trying to pulling over us, thinking that his like video froze, but we can see the colors.
I can literally freeze forever. I was just like going to say, all that money. Can I borrow $5, Gaz?
I can see the ray tracing on your forehead. I bet.
The ray tracing on Hogwarts Legacy on the Series X, though, merely tanked that console, huh? Woo!
Oh,
bro!
Woo!
How long is this going to happen where the PS5 that is less powerful outperforms the Series X? I feel like Rand, when I say this stuff to Rand, he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" When I say it to Gaz, he's like, "Beep beep 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 beep." I don't know what the. I don't think you really ever see the Series X perform up to what it should have performed versus the PS5 this gen. Maybe you will later on, but I don't know. It is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is.
Absolute fat L, fat gigantic L. It's an L. It's like this is so. Chat. Before you go, guys, you're a pony. Are you not pissed off every time Digital Foundry comes out and it's thing and it's like, oh, it's a Sony marketed game, so it's obviously going to be done. I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm so confident the next game that's marketed by Xbox is going to run worse as well. Like, okay, let's see.
Well, there's two problems. Somebody who was so says, is it the tools? I don't really think it's really the tools anymore. The problem is that documentation for the Series X dev kit and the Series S dev kit still has problems. It's still too difficult. It's too much work. And the devs are like, you know what? We went this far. It's good enough. Ship it. But the PS5, it's what they've been doing for years. Here's the other problem. I'm in the talks with a couple of developers right now for maybe a possible video. I really don't want to make the video because it's super techy. But all these great things that Xbox waited for RDNA 2, why would multi-platform developers do that if the PS5 version is not going to be able to use it? Like something like mesh shaders. And I've been talking to people about the mesh shaders. You build the objects in the game with mesh shaders. And now if they're not going to be supported on the RDNA 1.5 PS5, they're not going to use mesh shaders. They're going to use.
So why did Microsoft build this console this way?
Their first-party games could shine with more performance, but you'll never see it. You know, a lot of the Xbox first-party games look really great or do big things.
I think Forza this is why I kept saying this on the other show, that Forza is so monumentally important for saving face on the power thing, because that game is, if it does what it's supposed to, and we have a lot of confidence in Turn 10, and Digital Foundry, like they did the breakdown of that trailer when they first showed off the gameplay. They were like, how is it running ray tracing 60, 4K 60? 4K. I have questions on the res. I don't think it'll be a fixed 4K, but even if it is, ray tracing on track when GT7 looks the way it does, that is going to be the clincher. That Xbox, and I will say this again, there should not be a scenario this generation where Xbox, well, at the end of this generation, we should be able to say Xbox has the better looking games. First, exclusives. Forget multiplats, because for all the reasons you just told us. But exclusives, I want Xbox to deliver the best looking games. Guys, you only care about graphics. No, I care about everything. But this point, the most powerful console, you have the studios, you have the Coalition. Now you have Ninja Theory with Hellblade looking dank. You've got all these talent. You've got bloody id Software. You've got all this dankness. I want the best looking. As an Xbox fan, I want Xbox to win in every metric.
And it's not just that. When I play Hogwarts Legacy, the game looks and feels great, but I see the frame drops. I feel them when I go around the corners and when certain things happen. And then when I watch a Digital Foundry video, even though this shouldn't change, right? But even when I see the video and they're like, oh, it's pretty much locked on the PS5, but Series X, it's dropping, 13 frames. And I'm like, yeah, I feel that. Why in the heck am I getting that with a raw performant console that, I don't know. Rand, do you have anything to say about this?
Well, I mean, also, Digital Foundry waited until what? The game's been out for a while now, and I do believe there was patches on the PlayStation 5. I think there's a
patch for Series X, I think. Hopefully,
yeah, but I want to say, I don't know. I think somebody was telling me that like the Series X version performed a little bit better at launch than the PlayStation 5 version, but I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. We also look at what Hogwarts Legacy has to do. It's got to run on PC with all the different requirements and all different versions of PC has. It's got to run on Series X and Series S. It's got to run on Xbox One X and Xbox One and Xbox One S. And it's also got to run on the PS5, the PS4 Pro, and the PS4. It's a lot of different consoles they're supporting. Well, actually, the last gen versions aren't even out yet because it's probably awful. The Switch version isn't out yet, right?
Yeah.
So they probably had a lot to chew through. I'm saying, like, it's certainly possible that maybe that is a factor. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why anybody's asking me. I'm not a game dev. Maybe it's different when it's just like you just need to make the next gen versions and that's it. Because recently, like you had Plague's Tale that was next gen only and that ran better on Xbox. So I don't know.
Most of them have.
And even like John, I think John got a lot of crap last year when he posted a list of like the games that perform better on Xbox, and it seemed like people were talking about the corner being turned, the games running better on Xbox. But I just don't think you'll ever see that 30%, delta, right? Like, oh, look at the 10 teraflops versus 12 or whatever. I don't think
we're not seeing like a resolution delta either
in that way. Yeah. Nowadays, it's like the resolution. Nobody really talks about resolution anymore, like they did during the Xbox One era, when it was a constant thing because it was 720p to 900 or 900 to 1080p. Now it's like you got games either running at 4K, but then it's like 1800p in performance or 1440. The resolution talk is pretty much ended because the resolutions are, for the most part, always the same, and this one's comes down to more to frame rate. And the frame rate was awful in Hogwarts. I ain't gonna lie. I played it on performance. In the castle, it was awful.
It spikes down when you go around corners, and
maybe that has to do with loading, and maybe I don't know, because it's got to load in a lot of stuff. I don't know, but I mean, even despite that, I greatly enjoyed my time with Hogwarts. I greatly enjoyed my time with Gotham Knights, and that was 30 frames when that came out.
We've had some good games.
No tethers in that one, Colt. No co-op. No tethers
man. I played that game online with Fonz, and we were having a great time. That brings me to another.
Yeah, but isn't Redfall going to be 60 though, guys?
Yeah, Redfall will be 60. That's all they've shown.
Yeah, Redfall 60 got them. The reason the developer said is because of that. Well, the way they built that game. Because it doesn't really look next gen at all. But
it didn't. I played it on this huge PC, and it dropped 20 to 30 frames all the time when you're grappling around the world in Gotham Knights. But no one cares about Gotham Knights anymore. But great game. Let's talk about this one. Xbox is Hey, and if there's any like super fanboys, the kind that have to sit on a heating pad after they hear stuff like Xbox is doing well, you might want to get your bookmarks ready. We're going to talk about how Xbox is almost as good as PlayStation, if not better in certain ways. This really shocks me because
you can't say that.
All right, I won't say it. Xbox is better than PS5. So this is an interesting metric because I've had a real problem this generation, and Rand and Gaz and I've talked about it a lot about how Xbox has been slow to get these games. They've had all these studios, and they've only put out so many games. Where's the big bangers? And really, the AAA thing is the thing is missing. So Rand and I were trying to figure out how is Xbox first party doing, because we have this breakdown, and I don't know how much we'll dive into this, and it's up to Rand, but we figured out since this generation started for games that launched on Series S and X, Xbox has 11 first party games, 7 of them being AAA, and 1 of them a remaster. Now, I'll give you the aggregate review score of all 11 games that Xbox has put out this generation, but first, Rand will help me explain that.
Well,
explain it, Rand.
The reason we even did that was because I sort of felt the problems Xbox had before going into this gen was one of quality. It was a quality problem.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody would make fun of the 60 metas, right? Sea of Thieves, the State of Decays, the Crackdown 3s. Xbox was just not putting out quality games, right? They were made fun of, and rightly so. I mean, Phil Spencer, even at one of the VGAs, was like, "We didn't have a good year. We'll do better, or we can do better." Right?
And then he made that face.
Acknowledging that the games that they have put out weren't good enough, and they weren't good enough. Crackdown 3 was not good enough, despite what Colt says. Was not good enough. Right? Sea of Thieves may be great now, and if it was
not great the first 2 years or whatever.
But it wasn't great then. State of Decay and all, like they just weren't putting out great games. So I was curious. I was like, all right, Xbox got a lot of crap for last year. But I was like, the games they did put out last year were quality. And I was like, well, let's just go through all the games that Xbox has put out this gen.
I'm going to DM this list to you. So if you want to kind of look at it while we're talking, you won't have to like kind of be in the dark.
I was like, let's add up all the games that Xbox first party has put out, including global publishing, right?
Trust me, audience. This is kind of mind blowing and kind of crazy cool, especially if you're an Xbox fan.
Mind blowing, but
I mean, when you look at the numbers, you're like, really? Because I'm a huge Xbox fan, but if you were to ask me what the Metacritic score aggregate of the games, I'd say because everyone kind of thinks Xbox is sitting around 60, right, Gaz? Maybe 68 Metacritic average. So I sent it to you. Rand. So,
yeah, I see it. So we were going through this, and I was like, all right, what are the games that Xbox released? And we started from the beginning. It was like 2020 was Gears Tactics, that amazing Series X and S launch lineup with one brand new game that was also a delayed 6-month port, right?
From PC.
Like, yeah, which I believe was like an 83. And then 2021, an incredible year from Xbox, a year that we thought was like, this is it. This is when it all changes. This is the beginning of the new, because they put out Flight Sim, which is like a 90-something, Psychonauts 2, which is like an 88, Forza Horizon 5, which is like a 91 or 92, and Halo Infinite, which, say what you will about Halo Infinite, but when it launched, it reviewed quite well. There's
87.
Definitely a way you could look at it, like where Sea of Thieves started to where Sea of Thieves is now, and when Halo started to where Halo, like Sea of Thieves started down but went up, and Halo started up and is going down.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, okay, so that's good. And then 2022, As Dusk Falls, was the lowest one out of here. Like, that was a 77.
I'm going to send this to you as well, guys.
Grounded came out of early access, got like an 82 or an 83. Pentiment came out, got like an 86. But also, Deathloop finally hit Xbox last year and was like an 88. And then this year so far, they've released Hi-Fi Rush, which was incredible, which was like an 88, and Age of Empires 2 HD, which was...
First time ever on console.
First time ever on console and remastered, and we included
like an 87 or something?
Yeah, it was like an 86, and then we averaged them all out, and it was like basically like an 87 or something like that.
87.1 for Xbox. Or something. 87.1 for Xbox first party output on the Xbox Series S and X console generation.
Well, and I wasn't trying to like, let's put it against PlayStation. I was just like, for myself, I wanted to say, well, the problem Xbox had was the games weren't good. And the games that they've released this gen, at least when you look at it critically from an aggregate, would be like, hey, these are all good. The lowest game is As Dusk Falls, which is a partner game, which, you know, some people would say is a... what did Jez call that game? Not a Photoshop. It's a PowerPoint game with voices. And that was like the lowest one. So I was like, man, that is well
even
done.
Grounded was like an 83 or something.
The problem, though, as Gaz would say, is that the big games are missing, right?
Yes.
A lot of these games are of smaller stature.
But out of 11 games, 7 of them are AAA.
I can never tell. Gaz just sneezed. He doesn't want anything to do with conversation. He wants us to move on.
No.
So let's move on.
No, I want to talk about this. I'm listening to you guys. So
are you looking at the list?
No, you tweeted ages ago, didn't you? Friday.
No, I actually DM'd it to you if you wanted to look at what we're actually looking at the list. Yeah. Because we're going to talk about the PlayStation games briefly, but... You
want me to read it out?
See, that was...
No, you don't have to.
That
Just
was
follow
Colt's
along.
idea. Because I was more focused on the Xbox and what they were putting on. And Coates like, let us add up the PlayStation stuff, and I'm like, okay, I guess.
Come on, audience! Like, you want me to compare Xbox's first party to PlayStation, and if you take a step back, PlayStation had more games, and almost all of them were AAA. And where is it? So they had 15 games. I wrote 16 because we were going to call the mountain, but it hasn't even actually launched yet, but it has a score. 15 games, 13 of those games, almost every one of them is AAA. The only games that weren't AAA are Astrobot, I think, and Destruction All-Stars.
Maybe.
And what? Sackboy. Yeah.
Sackboy, yeah.
Yeah, we think
Is
Sackboy
Returnal
is
considered AAA?
Yes, they said it was. They said this was their first AAA, and I think they did deliver a AAA game. They put a lot of money into it.
It's a great game.
They may not be a AAA studio, but they definitely put out a AAA, and that's where it gets crazy in the weeds, right, guys? Like, we all make up what we think is AAA, but the AAA really means size of the studio and the budget they put into the game, and there's no you can't dispute that. But Hi-Fi Rush was kind of iffy. Like, Rand and I were like, is Hi-Fi Rush AAA? And Ram was like, I feel like it is. And I said, I'm willing to say it isn't, just to try and make this list as bipartisan and as fair as possible. So
I think Hi-Fi Rush is like AA plus, essentially, like right there on the cusp.
But I mean, those review scores, I mean, almost every game from Xbox is like an 82 to 85, and then you got some 90s, and you have, what was the lowest one you said was Astos Falls?
Astos Falls, which was like a 77.
Yeah, and I mean, I enjoyed what I did play of it. I didn't finish it, but PlayStation has Miles Morales, Astrobot, Sackboy, Demon Souls, Destruction All-Stars, Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut, Death Stranding Director's Cut. The funny thing that PlayStation took a lot of games and enhanced them and tacked in the DLC content and resold them. They got re-reviewed. They got Metacritic and everything. Ratchet & Clank Returnal, MLB 21 and 22, which are like some of their lowest scored games. I love them. Uncharted Legacy Thieves Collection, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7. Those games all score in around Xbox's big games this gen. Last of Us Part 1, another remaster. God of War Ragnarok, best game they've put out. And then basically, if you step back, 2 remakes, 3 remasters, aggregate review score compared to Xbox's 87.1. Nick Marseille, you might want to record right here because I know it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt in the bathing suit area.
He's lurking.
Like, ow! Xbox is an 87.1 aggregate score with 11 games. PlayStation has 15 games, 4 more, at an 85.6. I mean, it's so petty to like talk about it that way, but I've felt like Xbox needs to crank out more and bigger games, and we've been waiting for those in 2022. They were completely absent, right, Rand? I mean, we were supposed to get
Starfield.
Well,
I mean, the difference though is that, like you said, Xbox had 7 AAA games, the PlayStation's 13.
Yeah, double.
So, like, that's where the bigger games. And we were like, when we were going through this, I was like, we need to include Demon's Souls and Last of Us Part 1. Because Colt was originally like, no, they're just remakes. And I'm like, no, we need to include them. I was hesitant to include.
Well, I mean, I wanted Demon's Souls. You were kind of making sure we were super fair. Yeah, we were both
right.
Like, really,
it was like, well, we kind of debated whether or not to include the remasters, the director's
yeah, like
cut,
Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima. We were like
one game came out in 2019, the other came out in 2020, and Uncharted Legacy of Thieves was just remastered of a game that came out in 2016 and 2018, I think. There's like, are these really new games? It's just like, yeah, whatever, include them. So we're just being completely fair. Like,
it is weird because Gears 5, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 4 all got full Xbox Series enhancements, and they were just thrown into your library. You just downloaded the update.
The thing that's dragging down PlayStation's score is Destruction All-Stars, really. Because I don't even think PlayStation fans remember that game existing. Because it reviewed horribly. I think
it was like a 2-day affair.
62 or something.
Yeah.
And then the 2 MLB games, nobody talks about anymore because they're not exclusive either. They're just multi-platform, and they're also high 70s. So it brings down the average of the higher games.
And then you've got Deathloop, which launched on the PlayStation.
Tokyo, which when you add it to Xbox, will definitely lower the score a bit because it's like
Yeah,
it's
I think
basically
Ghost.
the same score as at Atomic Heart right now, like a 75 or something.
Yeah, I think Ghostwire Tokyo will launch probably in April or May, and it will bring Xbox's score really close to an 86 or something closer to PlayStation's. But the funny thing about this, Gaz, is 11 games versus 15. What's going to happen in 2023? How many first-party games does PlayStation have compared to Xbox? Then what do those numbers look like?
There's only one Spider-Man.
That you know of right now.
That we know of, and potentially factions that people are, because Naughty Dog have said that they're not gonna take long. They're gonna basically tell you on the year when it's coming out, and a lot of people think factions come out. That's why they're like, we've only seen concept art for it, maybe, but Xbox is trouncing PlayStation otherwise, unless PlayStation surprises us, and unless unlikely scenario of what.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Unless the unlikely scenario of Xbox actually shit in the bed with these games, which I don't think they will. I think Xbox has 20, even though it's heavily relying on what last year's games should have been.
Yes.
Redfall, Starfield, and whatever, Forza. Then Xbox will also have its own fair share of surprises, hopefully, as well. Hellblade, hopefully. Then
list those out. I'll have you do that since I've been talking the whole show. So it was 11 games versus 15.
90 at most 91 meta. I think Spider-Man is massively overrated, but that's me.
You think it'll get up to 90 or it'll stay at the high 80s, like 87, 88? Rand, you can coin in on this one too.
But I think because of the way the sequels are, like the same way the second game is always viewed more favorably sometimes. Like Spider-Man was this big game, so people are like, ooh, it's Spider-Man, the game from Insomniac. That Miles Morales was great. Spider-Man 2 is going to be big. Venom, everyone loves Venom. Unless they fundamentally change the game, like some big things and additions to that game. I don't know if they will, but it's Insomniac. They might do.
I think they will. They did some big evolutions for Miles Morales. But I want you to list off, Gaz.
Okay.
It was 11 games versus 15 right now, as is. But there are 4, possibly 5 Xbox exclusives from first party dropping in 2023. The first one is Redfall, and then.
Well, remember we got Hi-Fi Rush already. Yeah. So
yeah, but we've got 4, maybe 5 more. So Redfall,
Redfall, Forza. Starfield.
Yep. And then the multiplat that's first party.
Multiplat that's first party?
The multiplat that's small.
Minecraft Legends.
So, and then like you and I and Rand a little bit. Randy, like, is it possible that we end the year with Hellblade Senua's Saga? Maybe not. Maybe. But it still evens it out. That's 15 and 15.
Let me ask you this. Gaz.
Yeah.
Right now, at least according to Colt's infographic, Xbox's Metacritic average is 87.1. So just say 87.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do all those games hit above 87, or do?
Oh yeah, give us a quick prediction on each one.
Redfall is probably the 84 meta. Just sounds right, which is a good score for the game. The type of game it is. It may surprise us. Anything above 84. Is good. Minecraft Legends will probably settle around about 85.
Real quick, Arcane has been above an 84, I think, with all of their games. Even Prey, I think. So anyway, so what about Minecraft Legends? That one could be iffy.
Minecraft Legends could be. It looks like a solid game. I don't know. It's not a high scorer, but it'd be between 80 to 85 is like what I would think is where it's all. 82, I'm thinking, because of. But it depends on the gameplay mechanics. I'm obviously not a big Minecraft guy. It's the 3 that look like they are 85 plus meta games are Forza, Starfield. Those 2, especially Starfield, because that could be a 90 plus meta, and that will be a big difference. And I know races and Forza sequelitis was a problem before, but I don't think it is now because Forza's been in the hiatus for a while. It's like it's been in the back burner. and that's why it shows this game looks extra special. I also think Forza stands a chance to be 90 plus meta. I think it can be a 90 meta if they deliver everything. This is, I mean, I'm trying to think, what more can a racer do? You have over 500 cars. You've got ray tracing in there. They've got everything. They've ramped up to the hardcore guys. More all the point of contact is more sim based as well. It looks really nice. It's got all the content that you would expect. What more? And it's going above and beyond. So it should. I hope it gets its fair shake. Games Radar. I know what you're like.
Or Metro UK. Hey, Rand, what do you think? Do you think it strays too far from the 87 aggregate by the end of the year? Or do you think it drops?
Let me say, if they're releasing, let's see, Forza, Starfield, Redfall, and Minecraft, those 4 games, with those 4 games, whatever they release at, will those all average an 87? I don't know. I mean, that's tough because I think there's a possibility like Minecraft Legends hits in the 70s, like Minecraft Dungeons.
Too. Which would what was Minecraft Dungeons, like a 76 or 78?
I think it was in the mid 70s.
Man, I didn't love it. Sorry.
Redfall, I might get docked for the always online thing. Maybe bring it a little bit lower. But Forza I think will be high, and at Starfield, who knows? As for like the Spider-Man thing, I guess it really depends. If they improve the flaws of the first Spider-Man game, like the side quests being not good, like if they make the side quests enjoyable, and if maybe they introduce some co-op stuff where like 2 of your friends, one can play as Miles and one can play as Peter or whatever, I could see it being higher than the first game. But it also, you're running into the fact that you've played 3 Spider-Man games
in the same
essentially
city
5 years.
Built.
You'd have Spider-Man 2018, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2 all within like a 5-year stretch. So for some people, it could come off as like this didn't really come out in reviews for God of War Ragnarok, but there were a lot of people who played it were like, oh, God of War Ragnarok's a lot. I've been here, done that, right?
Yeah, even though it's really good.
Too much. But it's possible with this being the 3rd Spider-Man game where maybe it could be like,
we also got that with Forza Horizon 3, 4, and 5, but then those games have hit a 92 every time. So I'm more apt to think that Spider-Man is going to hit close to the 87, 88, or 89, which it has over the years.
I also sort of think people's ears are bleeding with how many times we mentioned Metacritic. And
I know. Let me read some supers.
I haven't looked at chat, so I don't know what people are saying.
I don't know, guys. Were you okay with that discussion? I know we went off on that for about 10 or 15 minutes.
All I really wanted to point out, at least when I did it with Colt, was like, let's look at what Xbox did. Are they really as bad as people say? And it was like, oh, because I think we told you guys, and you were surprised. Like, hey, the games they put out are actually the problem is now quantity and of a bigger nature. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah,
and it definitely seems like Phil said, hey, we'll get better, and it's like, yeah, the games they've released have been better. It's just not the games that people really want, I guess.
Unfortunately, they've just partnered with some games that just didn't land very well, especially this generation. Even like we talk about the Falconeers and the Mediums and a bunch of the Scorns, and like those kind of like drag down the overall perception. High on Life was really great, but it got a pretty low score compared to all the stuff we were just talking about. Danny Patch Official, thank you for the super. Says Shadow Warrior 3 versus Atomic Heart, which one better? I like Shadow Warrior 3 a lot, and now it's enhanced. It'll look and run better. I played it when it was kind of half-cocked. It's a fun game. It'll make you feel like you're playing Doom, Dollar General version.
The makers of Gaz's favorite Evil Dead, I believe.
What? I don't think Gaz likes it.
That's the whole thing.
That's Miles Dompier.
No. I was saying Gaz is going to love it because he loved Evil Dead. Or not Evil. Oh, I meant...
Evil West.
Evil West.
I do the same thing.
Oh my god.
Evil West.
Evil Dead. That's Miles Dompier.
You were making fun of me for raging. You were raging when you were playing Evil West. Moneybag, thank you for the super. Says, isn't it funny every game PlayStation ad deals that they have a deal with for ad marketing outperforms the X? I talked to somebody who's really smart. I won't name who it is. And Gaz, please don't say his name or he or she or he or whoever that said that absolutely Hogwarts Legacy was pared down on the Xbox because of the marketing deal. And I'm like, I don't believe it, but they insist. Oradamas says, Gaz, if Atomic Heart runs better on Series X than the PS5, are you going to bend the knee? If Atomic Heart runs better on Series X.
As it should. Should I bend the knee that Xbox Series X performs as it should? What, who am I bending the knee to? I want it to perform well. What the flip?
Team Pizza says, I have a fever and the only prescription is gas. As I yell. I haven't had to yell at you in a while. Georgie, thank you for the super, says, disagree. Hellblade 2 is the showcase. Possibly 2023. I'm feeling it is too. I really hope it is. Ninja Theory. Gaz, what do you say about the head of Ninja Theory? What's he been doing all this past 4 years?
That guy is freaking chilling. Every time I'm just on the Instagram, he's like, island. Oh, infinity pool. Oh, look, hot babes next to me. I'm like, bruh.
He's like,
when are you working? When are you working?
He's got like a cigar and he's got a bunch of women in a hot tub.
It's his studio. He's told you he's probably swimming in cash. He's just probably waiting for that terminus clause where it's like you leave after 5 years or whatever. Right?
Oh,
that
man,
Microsoft money.
He gets on a Zoom call and it's just like everyone's in the office and stuff. He's like on a Zoom call. Hey guys, you can hear some like.
How's the game going?
In the background, it's like, yo, what's up, guys? You got that mocap ready? It's good. Yeah. Oh, nice. Let me. Oh, good job, guys. Good job. Just keep doing
He's
it.
Like,
Microsoft,
good job. Whatever your name is, that's the main character. He doesn't even know because he's just blasted.
Hey,
the guy's
Dan,
a hit, though.
You remember last week when you critiqued Colt's title for the podcast?
Yeah.
Did you take a look at his title for this one?
Someone mentioned it in chat.
I didn't change it. So
Colteastwood. What does that mean?
Before the show, I talked to Tim and there was a rumor that was out a few hours ago that Xbox was offering 15 years to PlayStation for Call of Duty, and Tim goes, "Oh, yeah, that's crap. That was a rumor." Love it.
It wasn't even a rumor. It was just somebody who just completely misread.
He said it was somebody on Reset Era, and I'm like, oh crap.
Someone completely misread the document. It was like at first they offered 5, and then they offered 10, and then the guy's like, they offered 15. It's like, no, they
10
offered
plus
5
is 15.
So is that what this Xbox extends exclusivity deal? Is that what that's
yeah.
We didn't even talk about it until now anyways.
In fact.
And the show's almost over.
I left out all the ABK stuff, like about the lady who left the FTC because they're tired of Lena Khan's crap. I left all that out because
what about
you know
what about this other? What about new event coming?
Love it.
What's the new event coming? What's the event?
The Starfield event.
The new one that's coming.
Actually, there is something I can't talk about yet. Let's move forward. Red Wolf with the super says,
"Oh, geez, now you just said that. Now everybody's thinking a Starfield event's about to hit."
Yeah, I knew it. You just said on the show an hour ago. You just said that the Starfield event is coming in March.
I mean, but I don't know if it's coming in March.
I don't either.
That's where I would. You just said you.
You called me on the phone and you're like, "Here's what you do. You just make up stuff and hope it sticks, and then you put it on a grilled cheese sandwich and you read it."
He calls me and he's like, "Look at my Twitter." I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, tweets. What is it? What? Stay ready.
What is this now?
No. It was. God, what'd you tweet that one time that Zocker still makes fun of you?
Oh, stand by. Yes, and Xbox has been quiet. Stand by. And I had my graphic of the Series X with Master Chief on it because they were supposed to announce the stupid game showcase for 2020, and we were waiting and waiting and waiting, and then they
just
did.
Tweet stand by, and everyone's
stand
like,
by.
What does it mean? What does it mean? Colt tweets out my email with 15 eye emojis or whatever, and people are like, I know it. He's playing Starfield. That's what it is. I know it.
They sent me a Series X with a lock on it, and it has the PT demo on it and the Starfield build. Yeah, that was what happened. Red Wolf with the $2 says, my only issue so far with Atomic Heart is the tone. And then he goes, AO Everything, thank you so much for the $10. Says, sup, Cole? Sup, Ran? Sup, Gaz? Much love and respect to all of you. Keep doing your thing. How about that Hi-Fi Rush game? Game needs more love. It's too good. Have you guys played it? Thoughts? We have all.
Love it, Colt. Love
Do
it.
it.
Love it. You need to,
Crap. Knocked my drink over.
Amazing.
Yes, so good. So good. I am going to.
Hi-Fi Rush is an 88. Starfield higher or lower? Quick.
Has to be higher.
Oh,
Has to be.
Higher. Has to be higher.
I'm thinking 88 for Starfield anyway, so I think right there.
Under 88, in my opinion, it didn't do what it's supposed to. I'm sorry.
No,
I
think Starfield's going to do great things, but critics are going to just be so upset about the little wrinkles here and there and the things that big open world games do. We shouldn't see this in 2023 while they're playing Hogwarts while you try to fly and you got a ladder stuck to your face. But hey,
tomorrow's a big day, by the way, guys. Big day.
I know tomorrow.
Secret meeting between Brussels. Sony's going to be there. Xbox is there. EA's going to be there. Valve's going to be there. Everybody is going to be there. Jim
Is there going to be bagels?
I mean, I don't know. I would imagine something's gonna leak. You got all those people in a room. Microsoft telling them why
they're going to be sharing trade secrets.
Maybe Microsoft will announce what formal remedies they would give to everybody about the deal and stuff.
It's going to get messy tomorrow.
You really think we're going to actually hear something from that huge double oak doors with the brass doorknobs?
I think with all those different parties also having different agendas.
Is the head from Ninja Theory going to walk in with no shirt on and a mimosa and go, "What's happening, guys? What am I missing,
guys?" Something's going to leak. Somebody's going to leak something to Bloomberg. Somebody's going to leak something to Reuters. Somebody's going to leak something to MLAX. Is going to leak whatever.
Is Jez going to be there, like under the table?
Tomorrow. It's a big day tomorrow. Well, at least as far as the European Commission is concerned.
Does this mean Rand's going to make a video?
We'll see what happens. I'm totally over the ABK stuff regardless. I just don't really care.
I was supposed to go to the office tomorrow, but I haven't. I'm working from home because of this thing. That's how sad I am. That's how sad I am. But that's a big one. That's how big an event.
And it's 3 a.m. and you're on this ding-dang show. Overheated Eskimo says, it's super sussy that PS5 gets almost flawless 60 FPS, but Xbox Series X is all over the place between 40 and 60. So obvious, money played a part. Overheated Eskimo said it. I didn't. Fawn says a 5-point scaling system doesn't get applied. Fawn's gaming, bro. Fawn's. My BFF, he says.
Fonz on the show. Hop in. Let's go, Fonz. Get in here. Let's go. It's my show and I'm inviting everybody. Come on. Let's go.
I know. He says a 5-point scaling system doesn't get applied to a 100-point system correctly when we're talking about Metacritic. He's talking about how there's a 5-star. He says Metacritic is inherently flawed and stupid as an aggregate calculation. Yeah. But when Fonz's amazing game that he is voicing the characters in gets a 4.5-star Metacritic, he's going to be like, yeah, that's a 82 or something. I don't even know what they call that. Dead Planet says, the more I think about it, ABK is honestly crucial to Game Pass going big time. Yes, it is. He says Hellblade Avowed are great, but ABK brings Starfield level games, but it also brings Diablo, COD, Overwatch, and all that crap.
Well, Overwatch is free, so...
Fonz is a fan of Miles Morales. He says, wait, what did they change for Miles Morales, Colt? They gave you totally different powers, and they got rid of the, I'm going to walk around this bedroom and pick up picture frames.
I thought Miles is more, the combat was more engaging simply because there was more you could do. The powers made it a lot more interesting.
You had like double the powers, it seemed like, if I remember the game.
Plus, you didn't have to do any Mary Jane stealth sections, which was...
Yeah, or...
I need to play that. Because I thought Spider-Man was shit. Sorry, not crap. Not bad. It was just the traversal was good, but the stealth sections were crap.
I like the first one more than Miles Morales, though. I hate... We're not going to talk about a Spider-Man show, but yeah, I like the first 2018 much better than Miles Morales. In fact, I got to the point where I just kind of mainlined Miles Morales and I didn't even go on the open world. I didn't go any cop chases.
I didn't platinum Miles Morales and played it twice, so I think I like Miles more because Miles is a more condensed experience. It got rid of all the stupid open world side quests that made Spider-Man 2018 drag a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's what it did. It dragged.
Where Spider-Man Miles Morales was more focused.
Yeah,
that's why I think
I enjoyed them both though.
That's why I expect good things. I expect like an 87, 88, maybe even an 89 for the new one. Kevin, SEO. CO, but I'll say SEO because that's what we're used to seeing. Now, Kevin CO says, also Xbox needs to say, running on Series X when showing their games. Why aren't they doing this?
They're probably not running on Series
because they're not. Yeah, they're running on a PC.
on PC.
And like Turn 10 says, this is what it's going to look like on the Series X. And that's what they do. You know, they get the build up at the level, you know, you always hear Digital Foundry, this using this type of PC settings, this type. They set it that parameter, and then they run it. But yeah, they do need to show it on Series X. Fawn says, I have inside info, but there's a Starfield showcase in March. Yeah, but he's just kidding around. He's just kidding. But that's pretty much, you know, hit the like button. We could get 500 likes before we all take off. The chat's going like crazy, though. But, Gaz, it's super late. And, Rand, thank you so much for stepping in and being here on one of his last shows.
I'll invoice you for the extra hour.
I won't. I'll be dead next week.
Gaz, you've been busy making videos that, you know,
don't you
leech
say
your
it,
soul.
Colt.
They
Don't
leech
you
your
say
soul. Dude,
I thought you were
YouTube's
going to
been
say something else. But.
No, well, you know what I was going to say. YouTube's been really brutal lately as we've been waiting for big news, but you've made some great videos. I love your stuff, but you're working on something like really nasty.
Well, after the last video's performance, I might as well start doing porn because that's going to probably get more views. But no, I did a movie.
Like the Bungie Bros or whatever that thing was?
Bang Bros. So yeah. Bungie Bros.
I don't remember what it was.
Working. So the comic book games, I did that video that didn't do anything. But I'm still working on the second one.
It didn't?
It's going to be. Yeah, shocker, right? And working on some other stuff. So yeah, check out Game On Daily. One word, dank videos. It's gonna be good. You're gonna love it.
Love it. The chat wants to know if you're going to that closed door meeting with all the gaming executives. Are you going to be there as representation?
Nah, Hoggy wrote like a 30-page letter. He can go. I offer him as tribute.
I mean, why don't you just show up tomorrow in your suit and like have like a plate of bagels? I brought bagels, everybody. When we get this meeting started, just sit down and then you'd be texting me the whole time. Phil said Starfield is an 81 meta. Yeah, Rand. I know it's been not big video landscape for you and I lately, but what do you have in the works for?
We'll see what happens the rest of this week. Yeah, we got podcast on Friday, Xbox 2 with Jez. We also have an Xbox 2+1 coming next week. It'll be fun having an.
And you're excited about your new guests that you'll be announcing next week?
We have a bunch of guests lined up for the Patreon show, so it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, thanks for having me on as always, Gaz. I'm gonna cry. It's one of your last shows, buddy.
Oh, it was a pleasure. This is the way to end it.
He's gonna leave. It's it's gonna be ridiculous. Thanks everybody for enjoying the show with us and putting up with the nonsense.
And I can't wait to be the co-host once you leave.
Rand,
do it.
I will. Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't want you to be my co-host, but I'll ask you to be on once in a while. You're too busy. You're an in-demand guy. Everybody wants you in this world.
I am not in demand, and I am not busy. Trust me.
Reading those books and beating all those games, bro. Thank you, everybody. This is episode 91. So we're coming up on episode 100 here in a couple months, and we'll have more announcements to come soon, but we're going to get out of here. We're going to let everybody go. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like button on the way out and all that stuff. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and everything like that. And Gaz, as you always say, every week.
The second last time, I'm naked again.
What?